Yes, case number 53 on the calendar in the matter of Clark versus Clark. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Miss Clark, this is your father, is that right?
Correct.
And your mother is standing to your side?
Correct.
You recently lost your sight as a result of an illness?
Viral encephalitis. I was bit by an insect.
You have no vision at all?
Light and dark sensation only.
And when did that happen?
June of last year.
Is there any treatment for it?
No, ma'am. It's permanent.
What kind of work did you do before?
I was an oncology and hospice research nurse.
Your lawsuit says that in 2001, your father was released from a prison term and needed to borrow some money, and you loaned him $1,000. He paid you back, according to your complaint, $300. Now that you are unemployed and money is really an important issue for you, you want the money back, the rest of the money that he promised to repay, $700. And your father says that he paid you back every penny of the money he borrowed. It was $900, but he paid you back every penny. Is that right?
Correct.
When were you released from prison, Mr. Clark?
January 2000.
And how long had you been incarcerated?
5 years.
Tell me about the loan that your daughter made to you. When was it?
It was after I got out of prison in 2000. I did 6 months in a recovery system. After that, I had purchased a car, and the transmission went out, and I borrowed $1,000 from her, which she did not send me $1,000. She sent me $900 because it cost her $75 to send it to me. So
well, that cost her $75 to send it to you, so that's almost $1,000. But for the fact that she sent you the money,
at the present,
she wouldn't have had the expense.
Right. At that time, I was going through separation with my ex-wife, which is here as her witness. She was having me put in jail at the same time, which my parole officer at the same time was understanding.
For what?
Domestic violence.
Okay.
I went to court for it, and it was...
Okay. You started to pay her back when, sir?
After I moved to Columbus.
And when was that?
18 months later.
When did you send him this money?
February of 2001.
And how did you send it? By wire?
Western Union, and that's why I sent him $925, because they charged me $75 to send it, and he agreed to that prior to me sending it to him.
When did your father make his first payment?
Well, he wrote me a check, but it bounced.
When was that? Do you remember?
February of 2002. So then he was supposed to pay me when he got his taxes back, but they kept his taxes because he defaulted on a student loan. So he still didn't pay me. I, by then, was financially having some difficulties of my own, and I asked him, I said, can you, since you can't pay me back, like you said, can we make arrangements for $100 a month? So at least I would be able to do what I had to do, and he agreed to that.
And when was the first payment? He
started working at the strip club about 2 months after that, and I got my first payment. He paid me at all quarters. And then...
that would be around August of 2002?
Yes, ma'am. And then the next time he paid me was a month later. He paid me another $100, and that was like in quarters and ones. And then the last payment...
Why were you giving her money in quarters?
Mainly, most of that was tips. Tips made. I was paying her 3 times a week.
That's untrue.
It was in tips.
That was
well, why... Mr. Clark, were you annoyed that your daughter... Listen to me carefully, sir. Were you annoyed that your daughter was asking you for this money back?
No, ma'am.
Well, then, you're a grown man. You can take quarters, and you go to the bank, and you turn in the quarters, and you get dollar bills, or $10 bills, or $5 bills to repay your debt. You don't act like a baby and give your daughter quarters, $100 or $200 in quarters. That's ridiculous.
He could have cashed it at the
Shh.
bar.
Shh.
Sorry, Your Honor.
My tips are registered anywhere from $1 bills to $10 bills to $20 bills. I make at least $500 a night in tips. I give her $100 a night 3 times a week in tips. Sometimes it is all ones.
Don't speak yet.
Yes, ma'am.
Sometimes it is all ones.
Oh.
But never no quarters. And there's no one uses change in the strip club.
Okay. When did you ask your father again for the balance of what he owed you?
After I got hospitalized in June, I had to go to the Cleveland Clinic for a second opinion on my sight. And I asked my father, well, actually, my mother was going to take me. We went by ambulance, and my father said he would drive up with us and make sure I got back home. But he left me stranded there. I was upset when I got back that he abandoned me when I was in the hospital. So I went to see him in October, and that's when he told me that he had no intention of paying me, that everybody wants something from him, and he can't get what he ain't got.
Well, tell me about that conversation, Miss Clark. You said, Dad,
No, well, first I asked him why he left me stranded because he wouldn't return any of my calls. So finally,
And what did he say to you?
He didn't answer it. He started saying, well, the reason I had to leave you up there is because if you needed blood, I couldn't give you blood.
Blood pressure.
Let her answer.
And-
Oh, sorry.
Okay, let her
and,
answer. She's doing just fine.
He said that he couldn't give me blood if I needed blood because he's my stepfather, not my regular father. And I was like, so you left me stranded for blood I never even needed? And then I kept trying to call him on the phone to find out why he left me, but he would never call me back.
So you...
So I finally, when I found him, I asked him, I said, you know, I really need this money. I got a mortgage and a car note. And
what did he say to you?
his exact words were, everybody wants something I can't give them. You can't get what I ain't got, and I ain't giving you nothing. And at that time, I started getting emotional, and my grandmother walked in, and I left.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Of your biological children, nobody would give you money, but you asked your listen to me, you asked your stepdaughter, and she gave it to you.
Yes.
And later today,
Before I moved out, I told him that if he breached our agreement, he would not see it. And he said, that's fine. I'll take the loss to get you out of my life.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Angela Clark says her stepfather, Michael Clark, owes for an unpaid loan to get back on his feet. Michael says he was in prison for over 15 years.
Now, sir, I'd like you to tell me when you claim you made payments to, this is your stepdaughter? To your stepdaughter.
When I started making payments to her, I'd give her $100 a week, sometimes twice a week, sometimes three
Do
times
you
a
remember
week.
when that was, sir?
Every week. After
Starting
the
when?
date of the, I started work in 2001. It was like 18 months after that, 2001.
After 18 months, you paid her, and it took you just a couple of weeks to pay her off.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have any biological children, sir?
2. I have.
How old are they?
Actually, I have more than that. By my ex-wife, there's my set of twins.
How old are all your children, sir?
They range from 38 to 10 years old.
So how come you asked your stepdaughter for money?
She was the closest one to me.
Yep.
That is true. Shh, just a second. So, of your biological children, nobody would give you money, but you ask your listen to me, you asked your stepdaughter for money, and she gave it to you, right?
Yes.
Now, if that's true, because you say she was the closest to you, right?
Yes.
Let's say she needs $700 now. Let's say, and I'm not saying that I believe you, but let's say you paid her. Why wouldn't you just give her $700?
I pay child support. I pay rent. I have to live.
With his mother.
Attorney fees that I have to pay, that I'm still paying. If she actually really needed the money, I would do whatever it takes to get the money and give it to her.
Well, evidently, sir, she really needs the money. She wouldn't bring you to court, sir, unless she needed money.
Having the children, biological children that I do have, I don't know where they live. I did 15 years in prison. I don't know where they live.
Well,
Angel is the
evidently
only
they
one I
weren't
know.
close enough to you to
Angel-
find out where you were.
Angel is the only one that I knew at the time where she was.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, but he took his daughter to the strip club where he lives. She lives 4 blocks from us. He helped her move into her apartment. He knows where all his children are,
Okay.
every one of us. And I didn't know he was my stepfather until he abandoned me in the hospital, and I still gave him the money.
I have to make a judgment
Yes,
whether
ma'am.
I believe that somebody who opened their heart and gave to a parent / step-parent money when they needed it and waited years in order to get paid back would make up a story about still being owed the balance of a loan, or whether there is a ring of truth to her statement that in response to her saying, I need my money now, you said to her, everybody's looking for a piece of me. They can't get what I don't have. Just like what you said, Mr. Clark. You got children, you got biological children, you got child support, you got lawyers, you got rent, you got everything else to pay. So that sounds like words that probably came out of your mouth. That everybody's looking for a piece of me, and you're going to get disability, and you're going to get workman's comp, or you're going to get whatever else you're going to get, and you're going to be just fine. Stop looking at me. I'm just an old man who's trying to make ends meet. Well, you make ends meet after you pay her back the $700 that you owe her. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $700. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I'm grateful that I got my $700, but what he did today is going to cost him a lot more than that because now he has no relationship with any of his children.
She brought my ex-wife in here and just divorced her in December, so that's just, she just want to antagonize me.
Well, not only did he leave me straight, did not pay me, but since I've been ill and lost my vision, I haven't heard from him, not once in the last 9 months since it happened to me.
I love my daughter, but when she first told me, when I first found out she was in the hospital, I was concerned about the blood thing. I panicked about it, I got stressed about it.
He didn't want a relationship with me when he owed me money. I'm sure he doesn't want one now that he actually has to pay me the money.
Pauline's mad at me, Dottie's mad at me, Angel's mad at me, half my kids are mad at me because of this family here. So I'm not worried about it anymore. I got a life to live and I'm gonna live it.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Nunemaker versus Nunemaker, step forward, please.
Salesman Bruce Nunemaker is suing his son, truck driver Shad Nunemaker, for unpaid credit card charges. Shad claims he's never stopped making payments.
Mr. Nunemaker, this is your son.
Yes.
According to what I read in your complaint, 2 years ago, your son ran into some difficulty with a truck that he owned for business. And the truck broke down, requiring a substantial amount of repairs. You loaned him money to make... Stop playing with your papers. You loaned him the money to make the repairs on your truck through your credit card. There was an agreement that he would pay you back, and he had been making the payments faithfully on your credit card from 2002 until March of 2004. So far, am I correct?
Yes.
Is that right, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
And then he stopped making the payments. You want at least part of the balance of what is owed because the maximum in this court is $5,000. The defendant says that you breached the agreement with you with regard to repayment of this loan, so the loan was null and void. And he'll explain that to me in a moment. When, in 2002, was this loan made?
May 2nd of 2002.
And under what circumstances was it made?
Shad was on a trip. He drives over the road, and during the trip, he was outside of Colorado, about 150 miles outside of Denver, rather, in Grand Junction, Colorado, and he called me and said that his truck, the engine had blown.
What kind of truck did you have, sir?
It's a Freightliner. I have a photo here.
I'd like to see it.
That's the exterior and then, yeah,
Okay,
interior.
go ahead. Go ahead.
He told me on the phone that he was unable to arrange his own financing for the $12,000 engine in his truck, and without that, he was out of work.
Now, tell me, sir, why did you stop making payments? You were making the payments to your father.
Ma'am, I never stopped making payments. As a matter of fact, I have a copy of all of my checks, and I also have a copy of check number 619 for $247.54, which I just called yesterday, and my bank says it has not cleared, which tells me that for some reason or another, Bruce does not want to cash the check.
Did you receive a check that you did not cash, sir?
I cashed it a couple days ago, yes.
So you did cash it?
I did.
Just a few days ago. So what are you doing here?
That was a check for March. At the time of our separation, he was living with me in my home.
I understand that.
And it came to a point where we came to some conflict.
I understand that. And he moved out, and he moved out. You told him to move out, and he was angry. But you've just cashed a check, sir, that he paid for, and he said he's paid for the truck, and he intends to continue to honor the agreement. So what are you doing here?
That's not true.
What's not true?
The truth of the matter is that he sent me a check after we separated on March 19th. Sent me a check for partial payment on the March payment. At the day that we separated, when the papers were served by the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department, he verbalized that, and prior to that too, that I would never see the rest of that money.
Well, he was speaking out at the top of it, or, you know, he was speaking out of anger because he acknowledges that this is his debt, and he's acknowledged that in open court. Is that right, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. You understand, Mr. Nunemaker, that if you fail, now that we have an acknowledged debt, It doesn't have to be in writing anymore. It's an acknowledged debt under oath.
With no
So,
stipulations?
listen to me. It's an acknowledged debt under oath. You understand that if you fail to pay this debt, your father has a lien on your truck. Do you understand that? I want you to understand that.
No, I don't know that.
Well, then I am telling you that. Your father has a lien on your truck should you fail to pay it. It's exactly the same thing as if you had a written contract with him, a written loan agreement with him. Do I make myself clear?
Thus far, yes.
Good. I suggest, sir, that you make those payments on time every month.
Ma'am?
Yes.
May I add something? It's very important. Before I moved out, I told him that if he breached our agreement, he would not see it. And he said, that's fine. I'll take the loss to get you out of my life.
What are you talking about breach? Tell me.
The agreement was that I would continue to make payments and still live in his house and do my studies.
Well, that's what you wrote in your answer that I didn't believe when I read it in your answer. Are you telling me, sir, that when you called your father from the road in May of 2002 and said, Dad, I blew the engine on my truck and I don't have the finances to fix it. Can you lend me the money? And your father said yes. And what you want me to believe is, and you said to your father, and I will pay you back as long as you are nice to me, watch your temper, let me live in your house and continue my studies. And your father said yes, under those conditions I will... Speaking! Under those conditions, I will give you the $12,000. Is that what you want me to believe? Get a life.
We did not make an agreement, ma'am.
Listen to me, sir.
We did not discuss an agreement.
Listen to me, sir. I've just advised your son, under oath, your son has acknowledged this loan to you. There were no conditions on the loan. I find that there were no conditions on the loan. I will enter an order that should he miss 2 payments, you have leave to enter a judgment against him in the amount of the balance owed on the truck, and you may enter a lien against that truck in order to execute on it. You can sell it. Do you understand?
I do. What about the 2 months?
Goodbye.
Yeah, this is case number 31 on the calendar in the matter of Reagan versus Oakley. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Miss Reagan, Mr. Oakley is your brother.
Yes.
This is your mom.
Yeah.
According to your complaint, you and your mom had an arrangement with your banking. You would give your mom your money that you were saving for school, and then she had another account where you paid bills at another account. And it is your complaint that your brother accessed the account and stole $1,175 by writing unauthorized checks.
Phone checks.
Your brother says he borrowed the money from your mother. She told him that he had the authority to go in and take the money out of that account, that he paid her back a good deal of it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
That he didn't pay her back all of it because he's been generous to her, helping her out the last few months. And he is counterclaiming because he says that you called him a thief in front of some business associates and therefore tarnished his reputation.
He did it on his own.
Shh. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, let's start with what we have. We have a situation where you took money out of a bank account that belonged to...
My mother.
Your mother.
Yes, ma'am.
According to you. And you took out how much money?
I'm sure it was $1,175 in different disbursements, so not at one time.
And when did you start taking that money out?
This is last year. I don't know the exact dates.
Now, can you explain to me, sir, how you got access to this account?
Yes, ma'am. My mother, those checks are not like regular checks. You have to have a PIN number to access those checks, which is my mother's personal identification number. It's for her bank.
I know what a PIN number is. Even I, as challenged as I am, know what a PIN number is.
She gave me the account.
Well, tell me how that came about, Mr. Oakley.
I'm an event coordinator. I do sporting events, kind of like a promoter type deal. At first, I needed help with my flyers, so I asked my mother, you know, if I could borrow some money. I told her I'd pay her back.
Okay, so you went to your mother prior to April 2nd.
Yes, ma'am.
And said, I need some money for flyers.
Yes, ma'am.
And your mother is together. I mean, she's not addled or anything. She's a together woman. Is that right? So a normal person would have said, well, if you need some money, what's your first name?
Matthew.
Matthew, how much do you need? right?
Exactly.
And what did you say?
I said I needed $300.
And what did she say?
She said, okay. She had a checkbook because she worked at Circle K at the time, and there were Circle K checks only.
And she gave you her PIN number?
She gave me her PIN number.
What was the PIN number?
I don't remember it anymore.
And so you went to the bank and you took out $375.
Yes, ma'am.
But your mother had only agreed, according to you, to loan you $300.
No, ma'am, that's not correct. She asked me how much I need,
and you said,
and I said $300. But she did not agree just on a specific amount. She asked me whatever I needed. The flyers ended up coming up to $375.
No. That's just, you made that up as you were going along, sir. An intelligent person, according to you, would say, how much do you need? Mm-hmm. You said $300, and according to you, she said okay, and she gave you a PIN number.
Yes, ma'am.
But then you went and took out $375.
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Right. Okay. Now, that was on the 2nd of April. Then you took out another $250 on the 4th of April. Tell me about that, sir.
It's the same thing. I needed it for lighting and sound for my event.
So, did you go back to your mother again?
Yes, I asked my mother.
No, did you go back to her again?
Yes, ma'am.
And then again on April 11th, you took out another $250. Did you go back to your mother again?
No.
You just took it out?
Yes, ma'am.
And on the 13th, you took out another $300. Did you go back to your mother again?
No, ma'am.
Okay, now we're going to hear from
Lynn. Thank you. Your Honor, this account that he is speaking of was specifically formed for Christina's college funds and what she needed to do for her college. That was it. I would never give him permission to take any of that money for any of his events whatsoever. And how he got the comm checks is what he's talking about?
Your Honor?
No!
Well, how he got those is he went through my personal property, my papers, and he found them. And he knew that number. I never gave him permission to take that. He went through my papers and took that out. Christina, she goes to school 5 days a week. She works weekends. She's a waitress. She's got a full-time schedule. And she just doesn't have enough time. Nobody's really helping her with school. And so I took on a second job just for that. And I would never give him permission for an event. Matthew's been with me for 4 years now. He's taken money. This isn't the first time that he's done this.
What do you mean he's been with you for 4 years?
He was away.
Away where?
He was in prison.
Yeah.
And he came out.
What was he in prison for?
Grand Theft Auto. But
so he's just a second. So he's a thief.
Yeah, exactly.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
At the same time that this was going on, she went and spent $6,000 on breast implants. If she needed money so bad for college, why would she spend $6,000 for breast implants?
That's not your business. How much did your tattoos cost?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Christina Reagan says her brother Matthew Oakley stole from her checking account. Christina says the money was earmarked for her college tuition.
So you went to jail for Grand Theft Auto because you stole cars?
Yes, ma'am. This is when I was a child. I mean, I was really young when I did this. I came out of jail and totally straightened my life out.
Not according to your mother. No. Listen to me. Not according to your mother. If it's not according to your mother that you straightened your life around, I can't think of who is going to be more of a cheerleader than your mother.
Yeah, but can I say something, Your Honor?
When you came out of prison, where did you go to live?
I went with my mother's friend. Her name is Rosalie.
Never lived with your mother?
No, my mother actually lived with me. She came afterwards. After I was living at that house, she moved in.
You know what? Rosalie is my best friend, and I was actually, when he first came out, I was renting a room. And the landlord there, when Matthew came over to the house, didn't like the way he looked, knew that he just came out of prison. He told me that I had to leave. So I was already going to move in and be a roommate with my friend. Matthew just happened to go there the day before, but it's not because he was going to move in there before me. He just happened to get there before I did. It was nothing even like that. That is so untrue.
Your Honor, can I say something?
And so let me tell you this. So ever since that day, because we've had a lot of problems through these 4 years, and he'll always tell me, you know, I'll say, Matthew, okay, you know what? It's time for you to leave. You're just not doing the right thing. You got to leave. And he's like, well, I was here first. I don't have to go nowhere, you know, and that's what the problem is. He's gotten into my check account, and what he would do is take checks out of the middle of the checkbooks. I don't have that anymore. And then so I would notice it, and I would check a balance, and they'd say, well, you don't have this. And finally somebody said, why don't you check your checkbook? I looked through, and it would be like 351, 356, and it's just been going on and on and on.
Your Honor, I'm not going to deny this.
Sit down. Sit down.
Yeah, I'm not going to deny this. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I'm not going to deny that I haven't done bad stuff in the past. This situation that we have right now, though, she did loan me the money. The reason she's saying this is because, number one, she's saying that my sister needs this money for college, okay, for her college fund. But yet, the reason that my sister got mad and didn't have the money because at the same time that this was going on, she went and spent $6,000 on breast implants.
Shh. Listen to me.
Okay, $6,000 on breast implants. The money, if she needed money so bad for college, why would she spend $6,000 for breast implants?
That's not your business. How much did your tattoos cost?
Free. I got them all for free. I got them all for free.
Really?
Yeah, all of them.
Why is that? Why would somebody do that kind of artwork on you for free?
Oh, just friends. It's nothing from shops. It's just friends that do it.
Don't speak yet. Does it look as if I'm having difficulty with him?
Sorry.
Huh? Does it look as So far, what I have, Mr. Oakley, is that if I were to believe you, your mother agreed to loan you $300.
Yes, ma'am.
And you took out $1,175.
Yes, ma'am.
So that means that you were a thief for $800. Now you say, in your answer, in addition to that, I paid her back.
Yes, ma'am.
Bird wants to hear about that.
Yeah, I paid her. I pay my mother what I can. Sometimes I have money. Sometimes I don't.
Just a minute. When you say you pay her back, you live in a home with your mother, or you did with your mother and Rosalie?
No, my mother rents a room from me at my house. It's my house. She rents a room from me.
Oh, I can tell you something about that.
Just a second.
Her and
so it's your home?
Yes, it's my home.
How did you get a home?
I rent the house. I rent her and my brother one room.
Just a second. So you rent a house?
Uh-huh.
It's not your house. And when did you take over the lease on this house?
I've been in this house now for about 4 months.
And when did your mother tell you that she wasn't going to back up your story about these checks that you wrote?
Well, see, she never told me anything of the sort. My mother, okay, there's a problem because my mom, a while back, okay, she left for a while, probably for about 8 years. She ran off, okay, but it was a thing between my mother and dad. She ran off. My sister feels that my mother owes her something because she ran off, which it wasn't really my mom's fault. My sister will sit there and tell my mother she's stupid, shut up, embarrass her in front of people. And if she's going to sit, I don't believe she took it this far, because if she's going to sit here and say that my sister doesn't talk to her like that, she's lying and she's under oath, because that's what happens.
Mr. Oakley, Mr. Oakley, if you want to discuss, listen to me, sir, if you want to discuss the family dynamics in your home, go on a talk show.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
from 2 to 5, he was there at this Beach Girls place, and I called it at work. I didn't know what the heck Beach Girls was, and it turned out to be a bikini bar. Disgusting.
And what did you do?
So when I found that out, I broke up with him.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Christina Reagan says her brother Matthew Oakley stole from her checking account. Christina says the money was earmarked for her college tuition.
Now let's get to your counterclaim, and let's get there quickly. You say that your sister came in when you were having a business meeting and called you a
thief.
But you are.
Loser. But I didn't steal the money.
No, but you are. No, but you are a thief. You're a convicted thief.
Yeah, past tense.
But that doesn't.
Evidently,
sir, you don't.
So that means, Judge, that if I did something in the past that I don't have any rights like anybody else to better myself, I'm still going to be considered a thief for something that happened in the past. You know.
No, she didn't say you were a current thief. She said you were a thief, and you were a thief. You were a convicted thief. You were a convicted felon. And you served jail time. And according to your sister, and according to what I found, you're an additional thief because you took money out of this account. Even if I believed your story, which I don't, you took money out of the account in an unauthorized fashion because you were given permission for 3 and you took 12. So that makes you a thief. So your counterclaim was dismissed. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,175. Thank you very much. Be happy.
Bodies are excused. You may step out.
I didn't have to say a word. Judge Judy saw it the way it was. Matt's a thief.
I don't know. Maybe I need to get a job, a real job or something, start making some money. I don't know.
Actually, he just got a job and he's worked 7 days in a row, so we're really proud of him right now.
I tried, try to get a counterclaim, try to get a little bit of extra out of it, but it just didn't work.
I worked for it, It's my money. I want my money. I don't want someone taking what I work for. If he's not going to have a job, I don't take his money.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Ewell versus Allen, step forward, please.
Corporate receptionist Lori Ewell is suing her ex-boyfriend, Jason Allen, for his share of credit card charges. Jason says he doesn't owe Lori a dime.
Miss Ewell, you and the defendant were dating. He was in the process of getting a divorce. And according to your complaint, the two of you agreed that you were going to use one of your credit cards. He would use one of your credit cards for all of the expenses, dating expenses, his expenses, because of some machinations attached to the divorce. And that he would be responsible for paying that credit card. You gave him the credit card?
No.
You held on to the credit card?
Yeah.
And according to your complaint, he ultimately, the relationship wound down. You used the credit card, a couple of $1,000s worth of charges on the credit card. He gave you a check for $2,000 to cover the expenses on the credit card, and then he stopped payment on the check. Mr. Allen says that there was never an agreement with regard to the credit card. He gave you the $2,000 to help you pay down your debt, and that when you broke up with him, he put a stop payment on it. That's your defense.
That's correct.
That doesn't sound very convincing, Mr. Allen.
Well, I don't feel that I owe her anything.
I didn't ask you what you feel. I just made a statement. And the statement was, that doesn't sound very convincing. So I want you to digest that for a moment. When did you meet him?
September 3rd, his birthday.
And tell me about this arrangement that you made with him with the credit card. When did you first have that discussion with him?
Shortly after we were dating, about 2 weeks later, he couldn't use his credit because he paid for like some of the dinners in the beginning, like the first week, and everything was fine. Second week, he couldn't use his credit card because
well, what did he say to you? I want to know what he said to you.
He's going through a divorce, and that he couldn't use his credit card because of the whole legal thing or something. So I was like, okay. So we were going to use my credit card. I said, okay. I said, I'm already in enough debt already. I said, so just as long as you promise me you'll pay me back. And he said, oh, yes, I will, because he's going to get some money from refinancing his house that his ex-wife wanted to keep. So $30,000 was going to come his way. And he goes, don't worry, Lori. Well, then I started shopping. Okay, I was buying all the groceries for, almost every day.
Was he living with you?
Yeah.
When did he move in with you?
End of September. Yeah.
And how long did that last?
That lasted till December 10th. That's when I broke up.
So what were you using the credit cards for?
Groceries.
What else?
That's basically it, just grocery shopping, just drinks, beverages, food, meat.
Okay. And then you broke up in September. Tell me about the $2,000 check.
That he wrote me on the 8th, and it was actually...
Can I see the check, please?
Yes. And I also have... Here's all the shopping I've done.
Okay. So what happened after he wrote you the check for $2,000?
I found out he was lying to me 2 days later, and so I thought...
What do you mean you found out he was lying to you?
He told me he was at... The day he wrote that check out, he told me he was at work all day. He had a full work story, like, oh, this happened and that happened. I did detail... He worked on this guy's car, and he said that guy offered him whiskey, and he, drank with this man. And he worked at the man's house, the guy who's doing the work for. And so I believed him. It was a story, work story, And I found out later from receipts that I found, Beach Girls, didn't know what that was. And I found out that from the recording, the receipts, the ATM receipts, from 2 to 5, he was there at this Beach Girls place. And I called it at work. I didn't know what the heck Beach Girls was. And it turned out to be a bikini bar, a disgusting
Okay, so you found out he lied to you where he spent his afternoon. And what did you do?
So when I found that out, I broke up with him. And then I hadn't cashed the check yet because I was in no hurry because I trusted him.
Now I'll hear your end of the story, Mr. Allen.
Well, we met September. We started dating. It started getting good. I was involved in a divorce. I even brought my daughter to meet this girl.
Let's get to the credit cards. In September, did you tell her that you couldn't use your credit cards?
I told her I couldn't use my credit card.
Just a sec. And did you tell her that if you used her credit cards, because you had to use somebody's credit cards, if you used her credit cards instead of using yours, you would reimburse her? Did you tell her that?
No, I did not.
So your intention was for her to use her credit cards for everything without reimbursing her?
No, I paid cash. I usually pay cash. A lot of my business, my customers would pay cash.
Pay cash for what?
For dinners, I would give her cash. For rent, I would write her a check.
Well, how many checks did you write her for rent?
Probably 3.
Can I see them?
I don't have those with me.
Well, who do you think has them?
Well, I just moved from here, from California to New Mexico. I have a lot of things in storage, and
but you have a bank, don't you?
Yes, well, that bank is closed. I closed out that account and opened a new one.
That doesn't make any difference. You can always get a copy of your checks by merely calling up the bank, and if it's your defense that what you did was you gave her checks, therefore you don't owe her this money, and you gave her checks for rent and checks for other things, then it seems to me you come here with something equipped with something other than your smile. Do we understand each other?
Yes.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,000. You don't write somebody a bad check and then come with a baloney story, sir. Doesn't fly. We understand each other?
Yes, it does.
Out.
Parties are excused. You may step out. It's number 95 on the calendar in the matter of Kajowski versus Carlson. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Sir, have a seat, please.
Ms. Kajowski, you sublet your apartment to the defendant, and you claim that she moved out, she owes rent, and she damaged the apartment. You want her to be responsible. Ms. Carlson said she was just a few days late in paying her rent in March, and you evicted her. You told her she had to get out. You locked her out, and she is counterclaiming for all kinds of things due to this wrongful eviction. Okay, were you friends before this sublet?
Yes.
How long was your lease?
My lease started March 27, 2003, and it ended April 30th of 2004.
And when did you sublet the apartment to Ms. Carlson?
October 1st of 2003.
And did you sign a written document with her of sublet?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I see
notarized.
So I gather what you wanted, Ms. Carlson, was once this sublet was over, because this agreement is a lease.
Yeah.
And it is a lease for you to live there until the end of her lease.
Yes.
Unless, of course, you could get the lease put in your name, which is, I assume, what you wanted.
Yeah.
So that you would be the primary tenant.
Yes, of course.
That never happened.
No.
Well, you were late in your rent in March. What was the rent?
$520.
Why were you late?
I had to work, so I didn't pay rent. I was like a couple days late. I went to the office. I told them.
No. I don't know what that means. I mean, how old are you?
I'm 22.
Do your parents buy this baloney when you ask a question, you get double talk? I said, why didn't you pay rent? And you said, because I have to work.
I didn't. I was late.
And so there was no reason. Okay. How late were you? Couple of days. Couple of days is 2. Are we talking about March 2nd?
Rent was due from the 1st to the 5th. I went up to the office around the 13th.
Okay. So that you weren't a couple of days late, you were 2 weeks late in the rent. It's due on the 1st. You have a grace period until the 5th, but you didn't bother to show up until the 13th. Why?
I was working.
Everybody works.
I was doing doubles. It was a month time that employees had to work double shifts.
Sounds to me, if you're working double shifts, you're making twice as much money.
Yeah, but we worked like to all hours of the night. I would come home at like 5 in the morning, and I would have to leave at 9 to get to work by like 10:30.
All you have to do is put your check in an envelope, my dear. So you're working double shifts means you're making a lot of money. Should have had money to pay your rent. $500. There's no excuse.
I understand that.
Okay. Oh, fine. So that you breached your lease.
Yeah.
And you got a call, I gather, and as a result of that call, you changed the locks on the apartment. When did you change the locks on the apartment?
I got a call around the 11th. And I tried calling Tricia several times. I left messages. I said, I want to know what's going on. Do you need me to help you? She never returned my phone call, never paid the rent. So then I went in and I changed the locks and I left her a message. I said, look, I changed the locks. Either please go pay the rent with a late fee or, you know, get a U-Haul, move out. I did give her about 3 days. Okay. That was my last resort.
Fine. So you want her to pay the rent that she owes for March, $520, and the rent that she owes for April.
And a late fee of $37.65 or something.
Okay. Now, you also wanted to pay for some damage. What kind of damage?
Well, I had a pet when I lived there. I paid a deposit, and he did cause some damage. I do have a bill here of what I paid out of my pocket. I don't expect the whole deposit back, but she did get a dog without my permission, a puppy.
Then let's not play. Okay.
Well, you know, the damage is people vandalized the door. They stuck condoms all over the door, and they sprayed it with a fire extinguisher. She had a little ashtray outside the door. Plus, when she left, there were cigarette burns in the carpet, and I had to clean the entire apartment. And out of the $200, they charged me $140.
Okay, not a big deal.
Yeah.
Not the 2 months' rent that you want, which is $1,040. Okay, so now you have a counterclaim. I'll hear you.
Can I speak on what she's referring to of damages and stuff?
If you want to. I'm not really seriously
I was
considering
dog sitting. The dog stayed in a crate. Didn't go out whatsoever. Took it to doggy daycare so that I knew it would be in safe hands when I was at work. So it didn't do as much as damages than she expected.
She's not talking about a lot of money.
Okay, I understand that. But the condoms and the fire extinguisher blown in the door were under resort of her friends. She had an ex-boyfriend would come over late night. They would knock on the door. Came in one time, woke me up because he's...
I'm not considering damages to the door. I'm not, quite frankly, interested in condoms on the door and writing on the door. I'm not interested. We're talking about $100. She's going to deal with it. She wants $1,040 for the months of March and April, and you want her to pay you $700, $800 because she wrongfully evicted you. So let me hear your case.
Countersuing for lost wages.
What lost
wages of when she made me move out. I had received a call at work. I have time cards. I have a statement. Everything that day, she said, you have to leave. I went up to the office on the 13th to tell them that I'm moving out. I'm willing to pay rent and stuff. They called her to let her know. She freaked out, changed locks on me, called me at my work on my cell phone, told me that you better get your crap out. You'll have 15 minutes and police supervision. So I freaked out. I have to go get my stuff. This is the stuff I've been earning since I was 17. So I'm not going to let it be gone. I'm not going to let it disappear.
I absolutely agree with you.
Your Honor. Shh. Sorry. So, and that's lost wages, punitive damages, and emotional distress. I've known this girl forever. Known her for a long time. She put me through a lot of stuff. I'm a great friend, okay? I will be there for you any time of the week, any day of the month, whatever. She would call me certain occasions and just stress me out, freak me out.
Shh, listen to me. I'm not your therapist.
Oh, I understand that.
I'm not your therapist. I want to know what your counterclaim is for. You can't tell me it's for emotional distress because I'm a better friend than she is. We don't maintain a whole judicial system to hear that kind of nonsense.
I understand.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I had to pay people to let me live in their house because I was living on the streets.
Where does your family live?
Probably about a half an hour to an hour away.
Don't they like you?
And later today,
I want to see what a good pupil you have become over the last 20 years that we've known each other. So ask him a question.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Nikki Gajowski says former tenant Patricia Carlson owes for rent and damage to her apartment. Patricia says Nikki kicked her out, so she's not paying.
So tell me what you want.
I want money back from moving abruptly, going to get a U-Haul to move my stuff. I had to pay some people to move. I had to pay people to let me live in their house because I was living on the streets. You know, I didn't know where to go.
Where does your family live?
Probably about a half an hour to an hour away.
Don't they like you?
Yeah, we get along once in a while.
So temporarily, instead of living in the street, why couldn't you go and live with your family?
Because my car, it's not that mobile. I have to go back to work, and I don't want to go back to work an
So
hour,
are
an
you
hour
living
and a
at the
half.
street right near your job?
Do what now?
Were you living in the street right near your job?
No.
You picked another street?
No, I had to inconvenience another friend to let me move in.
You said you were living in the street.
Said basically I could have been living on the street.
No, that's not what you said. You said I was living on the street. I would just want to know which street you were living on, or whether I was getting high theater here. Listen, you did the wrong thing. You sublet an apartment and you blew off your rent. And she tried to call you a couple of times and you didn't respond to her call because you were very busy working 2 shifts and you didn't have time to take a check, put it in an envelope, put a stamp on it, and put it in the mailbox. Wrong. Grow up. Be a big girl. You signed a lease. Your lease was to pay the rent at the appropriate time. You didn't do that. She may have been a little overzealous when she said, listen, you got to get your stuff out of there in 15 minutes, if that's in fact what she said. Bottom line is, she wasn't going to support you while you weren't paying rent. That's unreasonable. Pay the money you owe it, $1,040. Judgment for the plaintiff, your counterclaim's dismissed.
Pardon is excused. You may step out.
She became vain.
I don't know what she's talking about being vain.
Her just being totally into herself.
You know, I'm not all about that stuff.
Don't care about other people other than her.
This is a girl that needs to grow up.
And I can do that.
Get a life.
I don't know, I'm not going to be into that drama anymore.
And quit living the trashy life that she's living.
Vain as hell.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Lamb versus Cobbs. Step forward, please.
19-year-old student Karen Lamb is suing her boyfriend's ex-roommate, 18-year-old electrical apprentice James Cobbs III, for totaling her car. James is countersuing for defamation of character.
Miss Lamb, the defendant borrowed your car, had an accident. You want him to pay the deductible that cost you to have the car fixed. That was $1,000. And Mr. Cobbs, while he does not specifically address the accident, he is counterclaiming because he said when he got to the police station, you were there and you were bad-mouthing him to his boss. So he is counterclaiming for slander and defamation of his otherwise perfect character.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you know him?
He's my boyfriend's ex-roommate.
Boyfriend?
Yes.
Ex-roommate?
Yes.
And when did he borrow your car?
February 21st. It was a Saturday morning.
What time did he borrow the car?
Around 8 a.m.
Why?
He wanted to go out to Walmart to buy breakfast food because his girlfriend was going to make us breakfast.
So you gave him the keys. What happened?
I was coming into Walmart, and I was taking a turn. The car skidded on the wet pavement, and I hit into the guardrail.
You going fast?
Speed limit, probably 55, 60.
But if you were making a turn, you usually slow down.
I did slow down, but obviously not enough.
So it was your fault?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if it was your fault, don't you think you're responsible for paying the deductible, so she shouldn't be out of any money?
No, ma'am.
Well, now we're interested. So you had an accident, but it was your fault.
Mm-hmm.
So you explain to me why she should be out the $1,000 instead of you.
I believe I don't owe her the money because we didn't sign any kind of contract saying that I was going to pay her deductible if I crashed her car. You know, we didn't agree to that, none of that. And $1,000 deductible is just, to me, it's ridiculous.
You're going to break it down, aren't you?
What?
You're going to break it down, right? I just want to see this.
Just 1 second. Just 1 second. I want to see what a good pupil you have become over the last 20 years that we've known each other. Okay? Why don't you ask him the question? So, ask him the question.
If you crashed a car and it's your fault and you admit that it's your fault, once again, why should she be out of $1,000 for your mistake?
Because she, after the accident, she just continued to disrespect me all the time. You know, when I was at the police station and got arrested, I went to.
We're not getting to that yet. Forget what happened at the police station. He asked a question. It's a perfect question. I couldn't have posed the question better myself.
I already told you. I don't think that I owe the money because I didn't sign no contract with her.
You don't have to sign a contract. What makes you think you have to sign a contract, Mr. Cobbs?
That's what I believe.
Do you believe that the earth is flat or round?
No, I think it's round, though.
Good, and you're right. But just because you believe that something is true doesn't make it so if it's not the law. Let me ask you this question, okay, because I can see we're dealing with... You're driving the car down the street, and you're going a little too fast, and you hit a lady who's crossing the street, and you break both of her legs, and her medical bills are $50,000, and she has no insurance. Got it so far? You following me? And you never signed a contract with her that if you hit her, you would pay her medical bills. Do we understand each other?
Yeah.
Who do you think would be responsible for her medical bills, you or her?
Me.
Good. And why would that be, even though you didn't have a written contract?
Broke her legs. Of course I have to pay for the hospital.
You broke her car!
Yeah, but she already got paid. They totaled the car.
No, she didn't already get paid, sir. She was out $1,000. They took $1,000 off of what they paid her because she has insurance with a $1,000 deductible. So she's out $1,000.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He told his boss, well, you shouldn't get him out because she's saying he has weapons at home. She's scared when he gets out that he's going to do something to her, he's going to harm her.
Did she say what kind of weapons he had at home?
She said he had a fishing knife.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Karen Lamb says her boyfriend's ex-roommate, James Cobbs III, owes for totaling her car. James says Karen badmouthed him to his boss, so he shouldn't have to pay.
So now let's get to what happened that caused you all of a sudden to be not responsible.
All right, well, the following Monday, I went to, I actually picked up a copy of the police report, and we brought it back to the house, and Karen and I filled it out. So after we filled it out, I agreed to go make a copy of it for her at the police station for her and her insurance company. When I got to the police station to make the copy of the report, they told me that I had a prior warrant in Brockton for another court fee, and they arrested me.
For another what?
A court fee.
So what happened when they told you that they had the warrant issued for you?
They arrested me.
That's what they do when there's a warrant. Let's hear the rest of it.
So after I got arrested, I started to make phone calls to make sure that I could get my bail money. I called my boss to inform them that if I didn't get out of jail that night, that I wasn't going to be at work the next day, so I didn't lose my job. I'm an electrical apprentice. I have a professional career, so I don't need to be playing around with work. So my boss agreed to come and pay the bail. He told my roommate, one of my other roommates, that he was going to come and pay the bail.
Okay, go ahead.
So when he arrived at the police station, Karen was there, and when he got out the car, he was conversing with my cousin, he and his wife, and then Karen approached him and began to just ask him questions.
Okay, now you weren't there when this happened.
No, I was in the cell.
But you were?
Yes.
So step up here. And your name is?
Justin Coward.
And you were there on the 23rd, something like that, of February?
Yes.
And you were outside the police station?
Yes.
What brought you to the police station that day?
Well, I got a call saying that he was in jail for whatever reason he was there for. So I came, and when I got there, she was there too. We was all there, you know what I'm saying? But she told his boss, well, you shouldn't get him out because he's bad. She's saying he has weapons at home. She's scared when he gets out that he's going to do something to her, he's going to harm her, which is not his whole personality.
Did she say what kind of weapons he had at home?
She said he had a fishing knife.
So he said he had a fishing knife at home?
Yeah, she said that he was going to hurt her or something. She thinks he's going to hurt him.
That's the way she felt? Right?
Yes.
You can have a seat.
Thank
you. Did you have a discussion with his boss?
Yes, I did.
What did you tell his boss?
His boss pulled up and said, are you here to bail out James? He said, yeah, why? Did you already do it? I go, no, I'm not bailing him out. And he said, why should I not bail him out? I go, you can do whatever you want. I'm just saying I'm not bailing him out. And he probably asked why. I don't really remember this too well, but I know I probably did say that he did have a knife at home. He did have a knife. I know I didn't say it was a fishing knife. I know nothing about knives. I have no idea what kind of knife it was, so I wouldn't have said a fishing knife. And I said, yeah, I didn't want him home because I had to return there to get my stuff. I was going back to school at night. I didn't want James to come home while I was still there.
Because he thought he might be angry that because of you sending him to the police station, he got arrested on a warrant, and you thought he might think it was your fault. You have a police report?
Yes, I do.
Can I see it, please? After the accident, according to this police report, the airbags deployed. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
After you had the accident, you went directly home? Afterwards, where did he go?
He went to Stop and Shop because Walmart didn't have the breakfast food. He got the breakfast food at Stop and Shop, and then he went to a liquor store to buy a pack of cigarettes, and then he brought the car back.
That sound right?
No. I might have went to Stop and Shop, but I didn't go to no liquor store.
Yeah, just had an accident, sir. You totaled out her car.
But it's not like I got out the car limping. I broke my neck. I could still drive. I wasn't going to walk home.
Almost makes you wonder whether to invest in U.S. bonds. You had an accident. You were driving too fast. You weren't calculating the road conditions and your speed. It cost her $1,000. You are responsible for that. The fact that she indicated to your boss that she would not bail you out, that she was afraid of what would happen because you got yourself arrested and were incarcerated as a result, really, of this accident and your own prior irresponsibility, and she told your boss the truth about you having a knife at home, that is not slander, sir. That's the truth. And that's how she felt, and she's allowed to express that. That doesn't diminish your responsibility. You owe her $1,000. Judgment for the plaintiff and your counterclaim is dismissed.
On the calendar in the matter of Calmetta versus Morris. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks, have seats, please.
Mr. Calmetta, according to your complaint, sir, you met the defendant at Home Depot.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you just struck up a conversation with the defendant.
Yeah, she was standing in front of me in line.
And she told you that she was buying stuff to paint her house or to do her house, and you volunteered to help her, but then indicated to her that the cost for doing that would be how much?
Well, Your Honor,
$1,500?
oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor, I don't mean to change that. But what had happened was I had given her my card because I was sort of attracted to her.
I assume. I've read the complaint.
It wasn't more or less, I told her she did need electrical work. I was an electrical contractor. I do building, I do painting, I do remodeling, but my primary job is an electrical contractor. So I handed her my card, and I did make a comment that sometimes it's easier to hire someone to do the work than try to do it yourself.
So?
Well, about 3 hours later, I went and finished the job I was on, and I got to the driveway of my home, and I got a phone call on my cell phone. It was her, and she had tried to attempt to paint the condo herself, and she was having a little trouble. Apparently, the paint wasn't sticking to the ceiling, and she was getting blotches. And I sort of told her, I says, well, try to smooth them out.
Well, what did she ask you? She said, how?
Well, she asked me if I knew someone who could come out, because she knew that my primary trade was electrical, that if I knew a painter, if I could help her out. And I says, well, sure, I do, but it's going to be very difficult to get someone to come out on a drop of a dime. You know, this is Friday night, you know, and figured I'd try to make a few phone calls, and nobody was calling me back.
You didn't make any phone calls. You decided to go over there yourself.
Yeah, I did. Well, I did call one person. I tried to. I called one person.
You thought about calling somebody, but you went over yourself.
Yes.
Mr. Calmetta, let's keep it simple, sir.
Yes,
simple and honest. Yes.
So
okay.
I ended up going over there, yes, and I noticed that her rollers were incorrect. She had the incorrect rollers. The paint was a cheap brand, and I asked her, I said, let's go to Home Depot, let's get a better quality paint, and let's get some rollers. So we went to the store, we picked up the correct supplies, we got back, and I did spend that whole, I got there from 4, I have the whole job itemized here.
No, just tell me the stories.
Okay, I'm just...
You didn't itemize the job that day or
no,
the day after.
it was itemized down the road.
It was itemized down the road, close to this lawsuit.
Yeah, right at...
All right, so let's... Mr. Calmetta, let's try to keep it simple. So you went to this store, you got better paint, and you got a couple of really good rollers. And then you went back and started to help her paint the house, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's hear.
Well, we spent the whole week in there painting because it was a decent-sized job. I had my employee here come by on Saturday. I was there till 11:30 Friday painting, and we returned Saturday in the afternoon after I was done with my regular jobs, and we spent. Well, I had left for 2 hours. He was there for the first 2 hours while I had went and did a service call. I returned. We were there together for about 5 more hours, and I stayed later to try to finish up the job on
Which
Saturday.
are you talking about?
Shh.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
That was May 6th on the Saturday. And then the last day I was there was Sunday, which was May 7th. And I was only there for 3.5 hours.
Okay, so you were there. Did you finish the job?
Yeah, we finished the whole job. It was
Good.
like, she wanted 2 different colors, so that took a little bit of taping.
You finished the job.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
And then what happened?
Well, there was also, things happened, and we talked about possibly going to South Beach with me. Okay, we were going to
Going to Florida?
Yes, Your Honor. And I had purchased some tickets for us to go.
When did you do that?
Actually, it was Monday.
I mean, right after the weekend?
Yeah.
Right after the weekend, you bonded with the good rollers.
At least I thought we did.
And?
And when it got closer to the trip, I'll try to make this short, something happened to her grandmother.
How much later was the trip scheduled?
Well, it was scheduled to leave on the 19th of May.
So within a couple of weeks?
Yes.
Okay. Did you see each other between that time, between the Monday that you finished the job and the day you were supposed to leave on the trip? Did you go out? Did you date? Did you go to dinner? Anything?
Well, we were both quite busy.
So the answer is no? No. Okay. And?
And like I said, 3 days before the flight, she had called and said that well, I tried to get in hold of her. She's kind of mad. I called her work. She didn't like the fact that I called her at work. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. She was at her grandmother's house for a couple days. Apparently she was sick and she couldn't make the trip, and she ended up canceling on me, which in a way I did go on the trip by myself. I have the tickets, that I purchased for her, which I'm not too concerned with about the trip, to be honest with you. Even though I put it on the sheet, I wasn't really going to try to make a deal out of it, because I did go on a trip and I had a great time. The day I got there, I met a beautiful young lady and had a great time in South Beach, and I was kind of glad I went. So it turned out real well. So more or less, it's the trip's not that big of a concern. It's just more or less the work that I did.
So you are withdrawing your claim for the plane ticket?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
So far, that's a good idea, because I didn't hear anything about, well, I'll pay half.
Yeah, exactly. So I figured that much. So
Perfect. All right. Now, with regard to the painting, I also didn't hear anything, Mr. Calmetta, about how much she was going to pay you or your helper.
I was going to tell you that. I don't know how you can figure as far as the Friday, because we didn't discuss the rates till about the middle of the job on Friday. She goes, well, what do you charge?
She asked you what your fees were. That doesn't necessarily mean that she was agreeing to pay your fees. But
Well,
she asked how much.
When they ask me what my fees are, I'm not there to do this for free. I wasn't there to paint the place for free. I more or less made it clear that $75 to come out, and it's $50 per man per hour. Those are my daytime rates. Anything after 5 o'clock, like I said, I have it all itemized. It's double time after 5. Saturday, it's time and a half, and Sunday, it's double time. And I did make it clear to her. I even said it'd probably run about $1,500.
Okay.
And so,
Now,
but it did come a little bit more than that.
Now, when you told her it was going to run her $1,500, what did she say to you?
She had no problem with that.
No, what did she say?
She said okay. She had no problem.
Okay,
with
now, Miss Morris.
Yes.
Let's hear from you. And we don't have to concentrate on the trip, because the trip he's withdrawing because...
I understand that.
He had a great time there with somebody else.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He already had the tickets bought, Your Honor. He came to my house with somebody else's name on the ticket saying I was supposed to take her, but instead I chose you.
Is that true?
Well, I was supposed to take some other girl that I had met, but...
Oh, yeah.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Richard Calmetta says former friend Sarah Ann Morris owes him for painting her condo and for airline tickets to South Beach.
Now, Miss Morris.
Yes.
Let's hear about the painting. You hooked up at
Your
Home
Honor.
Depot. I assume all of that is correct, that you met there, that you called him to come over and take a look and see if he could help you, that you did, in fact, go back and buy different paints, different rollers, etc. He came back to your house and started working. So far, is that all correct?
To a point. He gave the wrong dates. It's April 28th.
Who
and 29th.
cares?
My family was supposed to help me, and they canceled on me. So I was desperate to a point that I needed to get it done. I'm just a go-getter. Once I say I'm going to do something, I like to accomplish it.
Okay, so you called him.
Yes, I did.
You didn't expect him to do it for nothing, did you?
No, I didn't.
But you just, because you just met the man at Home Depot.
Right, I expected to pay him. No, yes, I did, Your Honor.
Oh, so how much did you pay him?
I offered him Saturday $200. He refused to take it because he began liking me.
Well, ma'am, I do a service call for $20.
He wouldn't take the money because he knew I'm a young lady. I just got started on my own, and he didn't want to take from me. He makes his own money. He doesn't need $200.
Well, this man didn't like you. You were the helper?
Yeah,
Right?
he's my employee.
Just a second. He was the employee. He was there painting with him. He wasn't crazy about you. What did you think? He was just coming along because he had nothing to do for the weekend?
No, Your Honor, I wasn't.
Well, what did you pay him?
I didn't pay them anything because he told me he didn't want anything.
What about him?
He was just
He
his
works in the
follower.
right
He spoke for both of them.
Miss Morris.
Yes.
Pay careful attention, madam.
Will do.
You called him because you needed somebody to paint for you.
I told him I... Yes.
And you expected to have that done at a fee.
Right.
I assume you were helping.
Yes, I was.
Okay. She was helping.
Yes, you.
And that isn't the usual standard fare. I mean, I've had my apartment painted, and I don't remember being right in there in the thick of things with a paintbrush when somebody is painting my apartment. Like, if you went to do an electrical job, sir, you wouldn't say to the person whose house you were in, come over here and hold these wires because you're going to hold the wires while I hang the fixture. You come, they leave, and so this was a little different.
Because we were on time and material.
No.
Yes.
It was a little different.
Well, we were on T&M, though. I did discuss as far as, she was trying to
Mr.
save some time on
Calmetta,
the job. Well,
it was a little different.
Yes, it was.
And it was a little different, compounded by the fact that the day after you completed the job, you made an investment in plane tickets to take it to South Beach. How many times have you done that when you did your electrical work? Right?
Yes, right.
All right, so it's a little bit different. You see, my problem, Miss Morris, is that you can't be a total taker. I mean, if he's smitten with you and he wants to invest a weekend helping you paint your condo, that's fine.
I agree.
But this man deserves to be paid, especially when it certainly appeared that after the painting was done, you had nothing to do with him, even after he bought the tickets and then bailed out. Right?
Correct. But
right.
A lot of things in between that we're not discussing right now happened between mine and Richard's relationship, or friendship, I should say, to make me not want to go on this trip with him.
But I withdrew the trip.
I understand.
So drop that.
Just a second. That may be. Don't you understand that a man who is smitten with a woman, whether he's good, whether he's bad, whether he's got quirks, whether he dresses up in odd clothes in the evening, it doesn't make any difference. You know, he feels as if he had made an investment because you led him on over the weekend. You led him on sufficiently for him to plan a trip with you that you initially said you would go on. Initially. What are you shaking your head no? You mean you didn't initially say that you would go with him?
Not really. I was too good to be true. I didn't believe it.
Just a second. Don't tell me too good to be true. You initially said that you would go with him. He didn't go buy tickets to South Beach.
He already had the tickets bought, Your Honor. He came to my house with the tickets a week before we were supposed to go with somebody else's name on the ticket saying I was supposed to take her, but instead I chose you.
Is that true?
Show her the tickets.
Is that true?
Well, I was supposed to take somebody else on a different date, on a different flight, some other girl that I had met. But it has nothing to do with...
Would you step up here, sir?
Your Honor, it has nothing to do with her, though.
Guys,
I mean...
Yeah, please. It has enough to do that you put it in your complaint, sir. Tell me your last name.
Szynski.
Mr. Szynski, you work with or for the plaintiff?
Yeah.
How many hours did you spend approximately at the defendant's house?
It was Saturday from 4 to about 11 o'clock.
Just on Saturday?
Yep.
Okay. Let me see your job estimate that you've made up right before court. Okay. Now, you say that you get $50 an hour.
Yes, Your Honor. That's standard contractor's rates.
For you and for...
It's per man per hour.
Per man per hour.
We charge 75...
Mr. Calmetta, I don't believe you, sir. I don't believe that you had a discussion with her prior to you doing the job, fixing the fees, including $50 an hour for you and $50 an hour for Mr. Szynski over here.
I have overhead as far as
Pay
phone
attention,
bills.
sir.
Yes, I understand that, but that's
Pay
what I charge
attention,
as an employer, though.
I don't believe you had an agreement with her.
I had told her what the rates were.
I had told... Listen to me, sir. I don't believe that you had a contract with her. There are too many things that do not ring true to me, including the fact that you prepared this right before you came to court. You had no signed contract. When you do an electrical job for somebody, Mr. Calmetta, you prepare this first, right?
No,
Pay
Your
attention.
Honor, I don't.
Mr. Calmetta.
You're not saying that... You want me to...
Mr. Calmetta,
you're telling me how I do my
don't try to
business.
talk over me, sir. You're going to lose.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You better make up your mind quickly what we're going to do about this situation. This is not going to go away. If I don't hear from you by the end of the day, I'm going to make your life miserable.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Richard Calmetta says former friend Sarah Ann Morris owes him for painting her condo and for airline tickets to South Beach.
Mr. Calmetta, if you are an electrical contractor or a building contractor, and I have dealt with both.
I understand, but...
When you do a job, you outline what the job is. Cost of hours, cost of paint and materials, cost of electrical supplies. You sign it, and they sign it.
That's on a bid. This was not a bid.
That is not a bid, sir. I have never dealt with anybody on a big job for $1,500 or $2,000 where we didn't have a contract, even a painter. The painter writes down what color they're going to paint the foyer, what color they're going to paint the living room, what kind of paint they're going to use. I sign, they sign, I have a contract. And if you're in business and if you have employees, that's how you do your electrical work as well. And if you don't do it, then you're not a very good businessman. This was done later. I don't believe that you had a contract with her, but I do believe that you are responsible to pay Mr. Szynski. Do you understand? You can't be a taker.
I don't want to be a taker.
Good. So how much do you think it was worth for you to have your condo painted over the weekend at the drop of a dime? You tell me how much you anticipated paying somebody else.
The estimate that I show for the work that they both did came out to about $300 worth of work. I'll be willing to pay
That's ridiculous.
Richard $300, his
I
partner.
do that on a service call, Your Honor.
I have a tape here, also, Your Honor, that has him threatening me and also saying that he did the paint job out of the goodness of his heart because he liked me.
Oh, well, let me hear it. Let me hear that part. I want to hear the
It's three
threats.
different messages because it...
I just want to hear that he did the paint job out of the goodness of his heart because he liked you.
Okay.
Yes, Sarah. I'm going to need to hear from you today. We're going to have to figure out what you're going to do about this situation. This needs to be taken care of. I gave you my time. I spent a whole weekend over there painting your place. For the goodness of my heart. My time is very, very, very valuable. I did that out of the goodness of my heart. Spend time with you because I liked you. What a mistake that was. Knew when I handed you my card that I was interested in you. That's why I even came over. You weren't attracted to me. You should have never had me come out there. You knew why I came out there. Why I stayed out I'm not going to eat these tickets. The trip is Wednesday. You're either going to take the tickets and go on the trip, because I'm not going alone. Now, again, I'm not on a drop of a dime. I'm going to find somebody to go on this trip here in a couple days. Now, I'm not going by myself. You better make up your mind quickly what we're going to do about this situation. This is not going to go away. I'm going to make your life miserable. Not only will I make it miserable by suing the out of you, and maybe some other things too, I'm going to pull some strings at your job. So I'm going to spend the whole day tomorrow on a mission to get back at you for what you've done to me. Now, I don't want to have to do all this. But if I don't hear from you by the end of the day, first thing I'm going to do tomorrow, I'm going to pull some strings, because I know people. I don't want to have to do this, but I will. Now, if I don't hear from you, Sarah, by the end of the day, we'll hit the thing.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
Mr. Szynski, you came here as a witness today, is that
Yes.
right, sir? Well, you're going to leave here the owner of a judgment, because Ms. Morris indicated that minimally she thinks the job is worth $300. It's probably worth closer to $600 or $1,000 to do the entire job, but I believe that Mr. Calmetta was not doing this job to be paid. He was doing this job for another reason. However, you were not. The court will enter a judgment, but the judgment will be paid, Ms. Morris, to Mr. Szynski in the amount of $300. Your claim, Mr. Calmetta, is dismissed. That's all.
Parties are excused. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Have seats, please.
Mr. McMahon, according to the complaint that I read, you and the defendant leased an apartment to live together. When you moved into the apartment, you put down half the security deposit. You also purchased some old furniture together. When you separated, you did not receive your security deposit back, nor the value of half the furniture that you purchased. That's what you want.
That's
right?
correct, Your Honor.
The defendant says this is pretty much a joke because you really owe her money and she has a counterclaim.
Mm-hmm.
When did you lease this apartment?
I believe it was in July of '98, June or July.
And how long did you live together?
On and off for probably a year and a half.
When did you finally separate?
About probably 5 months ago, permanently.
And how long did you actually live in the apartment?
I actually lived in the apartment full-time for approximately 2 months before I got thrown out the first time.
And then you moved back?
And then I moved back.
Well, so let's have all the months together that you actually lived there.
Probably 4 months straight, on and off for probably a year and a half.
And how much was your security deposit that you put down?
$150.
Now, tell me about this furniture that you purchased together.
First, we bought a washer and dryer. I paid $75. She paid $75.
Okay. What's next?
The next is the furniture, which her aunt was selling, and again, we each paid $75 for the furniture.
No, we did not.
You'll have your
That's
chance.
wrong, Your
You'll
Honor.
have your chance. So that is $275 and $150, $425. How did you pay your half of the rent, which comes to her counterclaim?
With check. With a check.
With checks?
I wrote my checks out to her.
Let me see them.
I don't have them. She packed all my stuff up.
He packed it all himself.
Mr. McMahon.
That's not true.
See, the problem is, she says that you lived together a total of 6 months. You say 4 months. The defendant says that you only paid rent for 2 of those months.
That is correct. But the only reason I paid for the first 2 months because I lived there full time. She threw me out. I had to go move into a whole nother place. And we were broken up. We started seeing each other again, and I had a separate residence.
But then you moved back in, even according to you.
Right, okay.
Sir, listen to me. Then you moved back in, at least according to you, for another 2 months on an apartment where you had a lease.
Right.
And you did not pay rent for those 2 months.
Yes, I did.
No, he didn't.
No, you just told me you didn't pay rent for those 2 months. You said you only paid rent for 2 months.
I wasn't living there full time. I was only spending 2 nights out of the week there. I already moved out into a whole nother place.
No, Mr. McMahon, now you're making that up as you're going
I am
along. You
not,
just said
Your
to me,
Honor.
you
Oh, I'm
said to
nervous.
me a moment ago, of the year and a half that you were together, you lived there 4 months, but you only paid rents for 2 months out of the 4.
No, while I was there, if I stayed there for a full month, I would pay for half of that month. If I only spent
That's not what you just told me.
Well, excuse me, Your Honor. I'm a little confused. It was.
Well, let's not get confused, sir.
But I went and got a separate residence, and then we started dating again. I would spend the weekend over there and then go back during the week to my own residence.
He never got his own residence until after the second time I threw him out. He lived with his father after the first time.
Okay, let's talk about the expenses that you say he owes you, Miss McCarthy. Let me hear.
Well, Your Honor, most of what he has said was correct. He was there May and June. I found he was cheating on me and I threw him out. We reconciled and he moved back in October, and he was there October, November, and December, and it was shortly after Christmas, 1998, or maybe even after the first of the year, where I threw him out for the second time. He was coming up with all these excuses why he couldn't help me out with the rent, and never paid anything. The day I threw him out, I went to do some laundry, and he had a bad habit of keeping his papers in his pants. I would check his pockets for papers, and I found a receipt for some car stereo equipment that he purchased the day before, and that's when all heck broke loose, and I threw him out.
Why?
Because he kept claiming that he had no money to help me out. You know, he was getting speeding tickets, he was paying for the speeding tickets, he bought $1,000 rims for this Mustang that he owned. The heat would be up to 80 degrees and he wasn't even there.
All right, so now, I got it.
I was on the leaks, though. I'm entitled to turn my own heat up.
Just a second.
But he wasn't paying for it.
I got it. I understand the whole scenario. Now, my next question to both of you is, clearly, according to you, October, November, and December of 1998 is when you, in December is when you threw him out ultimately?
Yeah, it was a little after Christmas, maybe even after the first of the year.
Okay, and did he ever move back in?
No.
Why haven't you sued him for the amounts that you claim he owes you?
Well, initially, Your Honor, we got back together around Valentine's Day in 1999.
So you were back together?
Yes, we did. We never moved. He never moved back in. I still live there today.
But in February of 1999, you sort of got back together. How?
He invited me to dinner, bought me a couple dozen roses, and schmoozed his way back in like he always did.
All right. And how long did that schmoozing last?
On and off for about a year. We had a verbal agreement in between all this because he was upset about the furniture. He threatened to cut it up if he had to in order for him to get his half of it. And once we did get back together, we made a verbal agreement that I was to keep the furniture in my apartment because he hadn't helped me for those 3 months. And that was well and good for us.
Made that agreement.
And all of a sudden I get this lawsuit, and so I said, well, the heck with it. I'm going to just get my money that he owes me.
Okay. That's what I wanted to hear. So you were prepared to say, forget it.
Yes, I was.
On. Now, Mr. McMahon, I'm going to ask you the same question, sir. What took you so long to file this lawsuit?
We got engaged.
Yes.
She wanted me to move back in. I said, no, not until some issues are resolved.
And when did that engagement terminate?
On my birthday.
What date?
January 30th. I wasn't just going to jump into a lawsuit until I had some time to deal with what I was feeling.
You should have jumped into the lawsuit a year and a half ago.
Well, yeah, you're right. You're right.
You're absolutely right. If you believe that she honestly owed you this money, half of a washer and dryer for $75 and a lot of furniture for $75.
It's not the money. It's got nothing to do with the money.
So what does it have to do with?
Your Honor, we had a 3-bedroom apartment. Out of all 3, each bedroom had a closet. I had a quarter of one closet in the master bedroom.
So does my husband.
And I had 2.
And let me tell you, he's a happy man.
And I had 2 drawers. I had 2 drawers. I couldn't even put my clothes in there.
He has 2 drawers. Men are lucky if they have a quarter of a closet. They have 1 drawer.
And another
right?
thing.
Women need more drawers.
And another thing.
And more closet space.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
She took over the whole apartment.
That's what ladies do. They make a nest.
What about me?
My husband knows he can decorate anything in his quarter of the closet.
I didn't get
Period.
And later today,
he shove kicked me to my growing area, and I didn't do anything.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Daniel McMahon says ex-girlfriend Michelle McCartney won't return his furniture or his share of the deposit on their apartment.
Have you ever been married?
No.
That's a very good lesson I'm going to teach you. Don't expect more than a quarter of a closet. Right? If you expect more, never get married.
Okay, and another thing, January 30th, which was my birthday, which was one of the last big fights.
More than a quarter of a closet?
A quarter of a closet's ridiculous.
I've been married for 13 years.
Yeah.
I don't even have a quarter of a closet.
The whole apartment had her family all over the wall. I couldn't put any. I had no entity in there at all.
You mean you couldn't have a picture of your mother or your grandmother up?
The walls were full. I couldn't do nothing.
Mr. McMahon.
I'm serious. She took over the whole apartment.
Mr. McMahon.
I had no rights and nothing.
That's what ladies do. They make a nest.
We need. There should be a little bit of compromise.
Let me explain something to you.
Not.
That's what happens. They make a nest. Right?
What about me?
My husband knows he can decorate anything in his quarter of the closet.
I didn't get nothing.
Period.
I had to step over.
Don't move a lamp.
I had to
Don't
step
move a
over shoes
picture.
to get to my corner of the closet.
Get over
Her
it.
shoes.
Listen to me. Your lawsuit, Mr. McMahon, is nonsense. And so is your counterclaim. Nonsense. 2.5 years ago, you started a relationship. You moved into an apartment together. It didn't work out. Your entire investment was at most $425, which includes $150 for some old furniture and an old washer and dryer. How many times did you use the washer and dryer? I want you to think very carefully. How many times did you take clothes, like sheets and towels, from the bathroom and from the beds, take them, put them in the washing machine, wait till it was finished, take it out, put it in the dryer, and fold it up? How many times did you do that?
Plenty of times. If I wasn't being thrown out that week, I was doing laundry.
If you weren't being thrown, you were doing laundry?
Yeah.
Is that
I
right?
used to do her work clothes for her. Everything
He was
else.
doing the laundry?
Some.
He was doing the
Few and far between. I was mostly doing all of our laundry. But yes, it was used for his clothes, which he had.
I didn't ask you it was used for his clothes. I'm talking about sheets and towels and stripping the beds. And
Oh, I did all that. I could hardly even get him to make the bed, never mind
listen to
strip
me.
it.
I'm talking about stripping the beds and putting the sheets in
Didn't
and
spend
putting the
enough
sheets
time
back on the bed. Who did that?
I did all that.
You did that?
Yeah.
Well, you were honest about the other thing. He did do his own work clothes. Who did the cleaning in the apartment?
I did everything. I did everything, Your Honor.
Like what? I mean, who scrubbed the bathroom floor? Who scrubbed the
did.
kitchen floor?
I did. I wouldn't even let him do the dishes because he would do them in a half-mannered way and they would be all greasy, so I'd have to redo them anyway. That was his lame excuse for not being able to do anything because he didn't know how.
It's called learned helplessness. You do it wrong so nobody asks you to do it again.
That's not
Mr.
true at
McMahon, is it accurate that the housework was done by the defendant?
You know what? I didn't spend enough time in that apartment to clean anything. If you want the real deal.
You spent some time there, sir. According to you, you spent a couple of months there straight. And in addition to the couple of months there straight, 2 or 3 days a week when you were going to your own place. So you were there long enough to dirty the kitchen, dirty the bathroom, dirty the tub, dirty all those things.
If I dirtied something, I cleaned it.
That's it. I've heard that before. Mr. McMahon, your lawsuit is nonsense, and so is your counterclaim. They're both dismissed. Get over it.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
One of us was obligated to continue paying that lease, and I did, and I have been paying it ever since. He paid 2 months, and he was on a lease for a
She
year.
wanted me
so.
to pay it while I was living in it.
Oh well.
I didn't get treated fair in the relationship from Jump Street, and you know, I got taken advantage of.
And now the next case.
All parties on Sias versus Graham. Step forward, please.
55-year-old Asian arts instructor Ted Sias is suing 19-year-old carpet installer William Graham for assaulting him while riding his bike.
According to your complaint, Mr. Sias, you were riding your bike to work. What kind of work do you do?
I teach internal health arts in Huntington Beach.
In a school?
Yes, ma'am.
And a car that was being driven by one of these two young men
Mr. Graham.
somehow passed by you, and he shouted something out the window, which made you angry.
It startled me. It scared
Startled
me.
you.
Yes.
So you got angry.
Yes.
And what you did in response was to ride your bike on an overpass where you were, and when you saw his car passing under the underpass, you picked up a rock and threw it at his car.
Yes, ma'am, but it was actually a pebble, and I brought the approximate size that I dropped.
Pebble, rock, you threw a something at his car.
Yes.
That made Mr. Graham very angry,
Yes,
right?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And you got off the expressway to find him,
Yes, ma'am.
because you saw him do it.
Yes, ma'am.
And there was a confrontation. And that's what this lawsuit is about, because you said that during the course of that confrontation, Mr. Graham injured you and broke your bike.
Yes.
So let's start out. You're pedaling along, going to work. His car comes alongside you, and what does he say to you?
It wasn't him. It was his passenger that screamed at me.
What did his passenger say?
I don't know. It was just a holler, a very loud holler. I wasn't.
Which startled you.
Yes, ma'am.
And then what did you do?
Well, I about fell off my bike. Then I picked up this little pebble, and I was thinking about dropping it. And when they pulled around, then he gave me the birdie. That was it. That's all it took to send me the rest of the way. So I did drop it. I wasn't dropping the pebble to cause damage. I was dropping the pebble as more of an act of, you do this to me, I do this to you, but I wasn't striving for revenge. I lost my head.
Yeah, but he didn't do anything to you, sir, that involved any physical touching.
I think
His
it's
passenger
Yes, ma'am.
said something to startle you.
I think it's an accumulation of years of riding and getting people throwing things at me and hollering at me. I guess that one time I've been tired. I was riding my bike for 12 miles that day. I just lost it.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You see the passenger?
Yes, he was, ma'am.
Did you do that? Up! Right there.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Ted Sias says William Graham assaulted him while out riding his bike. William claims Ted threw a rock at his car.
What was the first thing that was said?
I asked him, ma'am, I said, why did you throw a rock in my car? He then got off his bike, and he says, well, you know, you screamed at me. And I'm like, who screamed at you?
Well,
you know,
it's clear he didn't scream at you. Just a minute. He didn't scream at you.
Yes, ma'am, he didn't.
Somebody else did. Go ahead.
It could have been possible that we had been goofing around, laughing, whatever, you know, the case may be in the car, what you do with people.
Whatever, somebody in your car spooked him, right?
That must have happened somehow. It wasn't intentional.
Was he the passenger?
Yes, he was, ma'am.
Did you do that?
Oh,
Up! Right there. Right where the finger is. Did you do that to the bike rider?
I was...
No, look at me.
I'm sorry. I was singing in the car, yelling, having a good time, not yelling at anyone out of the car, intentionally.
Did you realize you had startled him?
No.
Now sit down. Go ahead.
Okay, so then he pushes me once. I push his hand down. I say, don't touch me again. He pushes me again, I push his hand down, and after I push his hand down the second time, he shove kicked me to my groin area. And I didn't do anything. Then I was going to call the cops. He got on his bike like he was going to leave. And I said, where are you going? And he said, oh, I'm leaving now, like that. And he's like, you're wasting my time. I said, yeah, thanks a lot. I just got my car painted. I just got my car painted, and he dropped the rock and chipped like on the roof of my car. And he says, well, now it just gives you something to do, doesn't it? He gets back off his bike, pushes me one more time. I push his hand down again, and then he kicked me harder in the same exact area, the same type of kick in the groin. And at that time, I grabbed his leg. He went to swing at me, and I hit him in the head, and then I hit him a couple more times. He fell over his bike, which was right behind him. Once he was on the ground, I held him down. This is all in a position where I had a broken collarbone at the time because I was in an accident maybe a month before at the most, and I had a cast on my hand from torn ligaments. So I was really in no position to be starting a fight.
What kind of accident? Car accident?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Sayers, you want to tell me your version of the event, sir?
Basically, he's saying something to the effect of, you're going to pay for it, you're going to pay for it, or you're going to apologize. I can't remember which one or both. And he kept trying to get closer to me, and I kept telling him to stay away. I said it numerous times. I did what's called a push kick towards his groin. It was not meant to cause any pain. He says, what was that?
But you did do that.
I did do that, yes, I did.
And he hadn't put his hands on you yet.
He was kept getting...
No. He had not put his hands on you.
No, ma'am, not yet. I did what I could, which was non-lethal. I pushed towards his face to make him lean back to go away. I pushed towards his groin.
He didn't kill you either, Mr. Sayers. That's not lethal.
If you look at the picture, you'll see it's probably lethal. My face doesn't look too pretty. I've probably got a birthmark that'll last me the rest of my life. You want to...
Sure, I'll take a look.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. That's not lethal. Nasty, but not lethal.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
You don't say anything in your complaint, Mr. Sayers, about your putting your hands on the defendant first. He's a young man, and very often people say, well, young kids, you know, they're going to lose their temper and they're going to get out of control. I think that it happens with men when they reach maybe age 50. You're not 50 yet, are you?
Nowhere near.
I know, they do have as sometimes what you describe as road rage. You went to the top of an overpass, you picked up a pebble. You say it was a very small pebble. It may have been, but certainly enough. If that falls on your car fast enough and shatters a windshield, that can cause you to lose control of the car, and it can cause you to go into a tree, another car, another person. It can cause very serious damage, injury, and can cause death. And then when he confronted you, when he stopped the car, which was his absolute right because he had done nothing to you, his partner over here maybe was singing too loud. Maybe he was trying to frighten you. Maybe he was acting like a jerk, which is possible, because I'm looking at him, and it's possible. But he didn't do anything to you. When he confronted you, instead of apologizing, you put your hands on him first, twice. And it looks to me, at the end of the day, you got the worst of it.
Obviously.
That's too bad. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Sir, have a seat, please.
You're Miss Bowman.
I'm Miss Bowman, her mother.
Okay, but you weren't there.
No, I was not there at the time.
Why don't
Thank
you
you.
Ms. Bowman, the defendant is your former boyfriend.
Right.
Who's going to take his hands out of his pockets as we speak. Very good. And according to your complaint, after you broke up with him, two things happened. You claimed that he trashed your car, causing substantial damage, and also in a scuffle over a knife, he caused you to cut yourself, and you want him to pay your medical bills. When did you break up with him, and where did this happen?
At his home on June 27th.
How long had you been going out with him?
Since February.
Did you tell him in person that you were breaking up with him?
Yes, ma'am.
At what time of the day or evening did you tell him?
7.
You broke up with him on the 27th.
Right.
At about 7 o'clock in the evening?
Right.
And then I assume you left?
Right.
Was there any discussion at that time?
No, his sister and I both left after I broke up with him.
What did you say to him, and what did he say to you?
We had gotten in an argument, and I was just like, it's over. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Let's just break up.
Did he say anything?
No, a normal breakup.
I mean, don't remember.
Not like...
And then you left?
Right.
Did you subsequently come back to the house?
Yeah, later on that evening.
What time?
Yes. It was probably around 3 o'clock in the morning.
And who did you come back with?
His sister.
And what happened when you came back at 3 o'clock in the morning?
We went to sleep, and nothing happened. We woke...
Who went to sleep?
Sarah and I.
Where?
In Sarah's room.
Okay. So you went to sleep at 3 o'clock. What happened when you got up?
We woke up.
What time?
Maybe around 11. We were going to the hospital to visit his mom in the hospital, Sarah's mom also. Then we went to the hospital, came back around 4:30, and when I got back, I looked at my car and I noticed that it had been really bad kicked. And
Where had you parked your car?
In their driveway.
Now, when you left at 11 o'clock in the morning to go to visit his mother in the hospital with your friend Sarah,
right.
Did you see your car?
No, I had not paid any attention to it whatsoever.
When was the last time you had actually looked at your car?
And no damage had been done to it?
Yeah.
The day before, on the 27th.
What time?
8.
8 at night?
Right. When Sarah and I had left, there was nothing wrong with my car.
Do you have a photograph of your car after the damage? That was from a movie, right? You loved that movie, right? What movie was that?
Gotta think about that one.
Oh, I know what it was. I know. No. I know what it was. I know what it was. Runaway Bride. It was Runaway Bride. When
I didn't see that one.
Oh, no, that's a ladies' movie. Did you see the movie?
No, man.
But you know what I mean when I say look in my eyes.
Yeah.
Try yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So someone did a real number on your car.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you went into the house?
And called my mom, told her what had happened.
And that's why your mom is here, because the car is really your mom's.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
And called the police. She told me to call the police. He was telling me, don't call them, it's not that big of a deal. And I called the police.
Well, did you ask him what happened to the car?
I said, what happened? I don't know.
And he said, I don't
wasn't
know.
here. Right.
And then you said you were going to call the police?
Right.
And what did he say when you said you were going to call the police?
Don't call the police, it's not that big of a deal.
And what did you say to him?
I said, my mom says I have to. So I went ahead and called the police, made a report, and when I had called the police, the officer came to his house, and the officer came, I made a police report. He said, did he do it? The police officer asked me if he did it and thought I was protecting him, but I didn't have any idea. You know, I thought in my mind that he did do it, but there was no, I saw you do it. So that.
Right. So what happened next?
Well, after the police officer had came, he wanted to talk to me. I was really upset. I was crying. I was really upset. And I was like, no. You know, Sarah and I were getting ready. We're going to get dressed, and then we were going to go out that night. And we were arguing. And I don't know how it all started, but he pushed me. Sarah got up. Sarah and him started fighting. And then I got in the fight because I didn't want Sarah or either one of them to get hurt. And we were all just started a big fight. And then he started grabbing knives and was like, I'm gonna...
You're lying.
Go ahead. He started grabbing knives saying he was gonna kill himself. First he held it to his stomach, then he said to his wrist and everything else. All the meanwhile, Sarah and his 9-year-old cousin are both there. And after that, he had grabbed a steak knife and he was like, I'm gonna kill myself. We were standing over by the refrigerator. Sarah and his cousin were in the living room by the phone getting ready to call the police. And when he went like this, I put my hand like this, and that's how I got stabbed.
So you were trying to
Prevent
him from hurting himself.
Exactly.
Okay. Did your cut require stitches?
Yes.
How many?
2. But it is 2.5 centimeters deep. My palm is numb. Half my thumb is numb. I'm still going to hand specialist to see.
Miss Bowman, I just have a couple of questions for you. You break up with this guy. He has a sister who's clearly a friend of yours. Don't you think it's a good idea that after you break up with him, you don't go back to his house and contemplate going out with his sister and hanging out with his sister so that he's aware of all these things?
Right, yes.
Yeah.
His sister was my best friend. We had been...
So what? So let his sister come to your house.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yes.
It's just not smart.
Right.
You know, it sort of says to him, trash to you.
Right.
You know, I'm going out with my friends. I'm going to go have a good time, and I don't care if you're heartbroken, and I don't care if you're miserable, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Just not smart.
Right.
Not thinking. You know, you didn't think.
Right.
Anything?
I tried to keep the relationship between us after the incident kind of steady, so...
You can't keep it steady. It was just 24 hours old.
I'm talking about after.
I'm talking about at the time of this incident. The breakup was 24 hours old, and you're gallivanting around town, hanging out and doing whatever you want to do with his sister and coming home 3 o'clock in the morning. I mean, I'm not being judgmental about that.
Right.
I'm just saying to you, don't do it in front of him.
Right.
Because it made him mad.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Jenna Bowman says ex-boyfriend John Benningfield Jr. kicked her car in a fit of jealous rage. Jenna also claims she was cut with a knife when John tried to kill himself.
Let us start with incident number 2. Let's hear your version of the knife incident.
Okay, well, see, yeah, we was arguing, you know, and...
What were you arguing about?
Yeah, I really can't remember. But we was arguing and stuff, and I was like, well, I'm just going to leave. You know, I'm just going to get out of here. And she was like, well, why don't you go kill yourself? Or why don't you go kill yourself? Or something like that in that area. In that area. And I was like, well, do you want me to? Because I was just so mad, you know, and so frustrated.
What were you mad about?
Just because we broke up, you know. And I did like her, you know, kind of a lot. We went out for, what, 6 months? And, you know, I mean, that's the pretty longest relationship I've ever been in. And
so you were really mad?
Yeah. And I was just like, okay, and I mean, I didn't have it up like this. I had it right here across my, you know, right here. And then my sister tried to stop me, and I was trying to protect the knife so she wouldn't get cut, you know, and then I don't know what happened. Next thing I know, she runs over here, and she gets cut. And then as soon as I see she's cut, I threw the knife in the sink and then helped her, you know, tended to her. Like, I got to town, you know, and I told Sarah and them to call 911 because I didn't know, you know, how bad it was. And then, yeah, the police came and...
well, that was the second time the police had come.
Yeah. Yeah.
Police came twice. The first time they came about the car.
Yes, ma'am. And they took me. They gave me. They was going to take me to jail, but they
take you to jail for what?
For assault with a deadly weapon. Because I guess she was going to press charges against me, but they ended up didn't, and then took me to rehab.
Well, she really assaulted herself with the deadly weapon that you were holding.
Yeah. Right. That's why they took me to rehab, to the hospital, instead of taking me to jail.
Well, there's a difference between rehab and a hospital.
It's in the hospital. It's rehab in a hospital.
What kind of rehab?
It's
I
was trying to think. I don't know. It's just they got a bunch for drugs and for people that are.
Well, for drugs.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Who were you hanging out with that evening?
Josh Cato, my friend. See, the 27th, when her car was we supposedly did it, we was in Gap Hollow in, where is that? Elizabeth, Indiana. And we didn't leave there until like 4 o'clock in the morning. And when we left there, we went back to his house. And when we got up at his house about noon, I come back to the house, and she was like, what did you do to my car? Why did you do this to my car? And I'm
well,
like,
at the time she left the evening before with your sister, you weren't in Gap Hollow. You weren't there, you were home, because she said, I'm leaving and I don't want to talk about it anymore. You were home.
Right, when they left, we pulled out of the driveway because he parked his truck in our second driveway, and she was parked with my sister and my cousin, and they was going to the hospital.
Who do you think kicked her car?
I have no idea, because his truck said 2 weeks before when we moved into that house, somebody took a baseball bat and keyed his truck.
Why would you tell her not to call the police?
I don't remember saying not to call the police.
Yeah, you did. Why would you say don't call the police? It's no big deal.
I have no idea.
Mr. Benningfield, you have no idea?
Right.
I have an idea. Let me see the estimates on the car and let me see the medical bills.
These are the hospital bills.
Give her the estimate, too.
And this is the estimate for my car.
Don't you have insurance on this car, Miss Bowman?
If she hits someone, we only have,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm a single parent, I can't afford the.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot of kicking damage on that car, sir. Need really heavy boots to do a kicking job on a car like that. Miss Bowman, what caused you to break up with the defendant?
Because he was controlling and he was mean, and every time I went out with his sister, I get yelled at when I came back.
How old are you?
16.
How old are you?
19.
Did he ever use any drugs in front of you?
Well, okay.
Answer the question. The
Okay.
answer is yes or no.
Yes.
What kind?
Xanaxes. Can I tell you something? He was taking Xanaxes the day that this
What is
happened.
Xanax?
Xanax is a,
Depressant drug.
right, for,
People that get panic attacks.
right.
How long have you been taking medication?
Like, just pretty much the time we was going out.
Is that by a doctor's prescription?
No, ma'am.
What?
Yeah.
You take that on your own?
Yeah.
Where do you get it from?
Just my friends, people I know.
These people that you know, I assume with medical licenses, know how much to prescribe for you?
They wasn't prescribed. She's making me look like the bad person. She took them herself. She's done everything that I did, she's done.
Mr. Benningfield, the problem is that you caused some damage.
I didn't do that.
Oh yeah, you did. Oh yeah, you did. There's no question in my mind that you did. And there's also no question in my mind, but for the fact that you had taken this knife and were using this knife in a way suggesting that you were going to harm yourself, she wouldn't have gotten stabbed. Now, whether that was a result of taking, try to pay attention. You're 19 years old. Trust me, you don't know everything. You think you know everything. Maybe you think he knows everything. You think you know everything? But for the fact that you probably are operating only on partial cylinders because of this medication that you're taking, sir, you reacted to her breaking up with you in a way that was off balance. Now, am I saying to you that she did the right thing by going out with your sister and still having a relationship with you? The answer is no. I think she acted like an immature 16-year-old. And your chronological age is 18, right?
Right.
Translated, probably about 9. And that's what 9-year-olds do when they don't get what they want. They hit, they scratch, they mark up somebody's walls, they do a whole bunch of things.
She had the police involved. She went and she was going to press charges against me. And I had to go up to Sellersburg Police Department to give them a statement. They said they couldn't do nothing. She supposedly gave them all kind of, witnesses that I supposedly admitted it to them. But them same witnesses, when the cop asked them, did he tell you this? They was like, no.
I don't care what they said, sir. I'm telling you, you trashed her car. You want to know how I know you trashed her car? Because I can see it. I can see what happened when she left and how angry you were. How angry you were even the next day because you said that's why you grabbed the knife, because you were so angry, because you really liked her. And here she was telling you, I'm breaking up with you and I'm going to hang out at bars, friends, whatever, with your sister. And I'm leaving, bye, and she leaves you there all by yourself with your medication and your friend. Grow up. Listen, you both got to grow up. I give you some latitude because you're only 16. You're 19 and no genius, but you're going to pay for the damage. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount requested, which well exceeds damage to the car and your medical bills, $5,000. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I think it was a great decision.
It's crap that she can see these things.
2 girls told me he kicked my car and that he had a new girlfriend, but I wasn't worried about the new girlfriend. It was just a coincidence.
We was trying to work everything out when all this was going on, and then I just got tired of waiting, and I started with this other girl that I know.
Finally now, she knows, we all know the truth.
And then she found that out, and then this one, all this, she started suing me just to try getting money, because she's for money.
Don't date psychos.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Merrick versus Black. Step forward, please.
19-year-old salesperson Kathleen Merrick is suing her former friend, 19-year-old college student Catherine Black, for the return of a snowboard.
All right, Miss Merrick, you and Miss Black used to be friends. It is your claim that you loaned her a snowboard. While you were friends, you're no longer friends, you want it back. She said it was a gift, right?
Yes.
That's what this is about. When did the snowboard leave your possession and go into her possession?
About a year ago, around this time.
Tell me how that happened.
We were friends and she wanted to go snowboarding and I had an extra snowboard, so I lent it to her.
Where'd you get an extra snowboard
I had 2 snowboards.
From where?
My mom bought them for me.
No, that's not true. Your mother did not buy both for you.
I had 2 snowboards at my house. I
didn't ask you whether you had 2 at your house. I said to you, where did you get them? And you just said your mother bought both of them for you. That's not true. One your mother may have bought for you. Where did the other one come from?
The other one was purchased by my mother too.
Where did the other one come from?
At first she bought one and she went snowboarding and she wound up doing something on the mountain and it broke. So her mom sent it away, and while her mom bought her a new one, while it was away, it shipped away. And by the time they got it back, she already had her other one.
I'm going to read you from your answer. You said it started in October when she broke up with her ex-boyfriend and decided to get back a snowboard that was given to him as a gift while they were together. Did you forget that you wrote that?
No, not at all.
We went and asked his younger sister to go up and get it without him knowing. Once we got it in the car, she decided she had no use for it. Doesn't that sound familiar to you?
Yes, Your Honor.
So according to your answer, she had given the snowboard to an old boyfriend as a present. When they broke up, the 2 of you went and took it back, right?
Yes.
And he wasn't there at the time. He got in the car and she said, I have one already, so you could have this one.
Yes.
I'm so glad at least I had my story straight. Does that sound familiar to you?
Yes. We went to go get the snowboard back from the person's house, and I had the snowboard, and I lent it to her to use because we were going to go snowboarding together.
Your Honor, she gave it to me as a gift because...
Get out.
Stewart. Wise up and sworn in, Judge. You may be seated, ma'am. Have a seat.
All right, let's see how quickly we can do this. Miss Arell, according to you, the defendant is your ex-boyfriend.
Correct.
And he owes you some money. I did the math. I don't quite see where you come up to $5,000. I'm sure you're going to try to explain that to me. The money comes from 2 sources. One, you claim that you went on a vacation together, and he was supposed to pay you for at least half of the vacation, or the whole vacation. And he never did. The vacation, according to you, was under $1,000.
Correct.
And the second thing was a loan that you made to him for some furniture for his new apartment. That was $190.
Correct.
Tell me about the trip. When did you take it?
We went on May 22nd of 2000.
Okay, what were the circumstances surrounding the trip?
He was just beginning a new job. He was supposed to start the following week. We had some time off. He had told me that for many, many years during his childhood, he had wanted to go to Disneyland. He had never gotten the chance to go, and we would like to go, with the understanding that since...
No understanding.
Okay.
He would like to go on the trip.
Correct.
I want to hear your version of the conversation. No I don't want to hear your understanding.
Okay.
Go ahead.
He did not have the front money to go on the vacation, but if I would agree, I agreed to put it on a credit card, in which case there was a payment plan and that it would all be paid back in the next year.
He said that to you?
Correct.
You got your bill from your credit card?
Yes.
How much was the total trip?
The trip alone, $960.
Did you show him the bill?
I did.
And what did he say?
He said no problem. He began his payments, and it was
How many
actually
payments
fine.
did he? How many payments did he make?
He made 2 payments directly on his paid dates.
How much?
The very first one was $40. He followed with $20.
So according to you, he paid $60 in total.
There was another $20 payment weeks later. There was $80 total.
Okay. So he's making these small payments, and now tell me about the furniture.
We had previously, prior to the
Were
trip...
you living together at the time?
No, we were not.
Okay.
At that time, a couple weeks after we returned from vacation, he did have to leave the residence where he was staying with a family member. And he stayed at my house just for a couple of weeks until he did find his own residence.
And?
And he had come here from very far out of state. When he had originally moved here, he hadn't acquired many things other than a bed and such. And being that I had no point to distrust him at that time, I did agree to buy a few things for the apartment for him.
How much did you spend?
It was just under $200.
What do you mean just under $200?
It was the credit card totals of $191.
And he wasn't working at the time?
He was working at the time.
So why didn't he pay for those things himself?
He didn't have any money saved up, and he had made a few payments to me.
Paid $40,
He just had to pay
$20, $28?
Had to pay rent to get into a new place, too.
Okay. So far, if everything that you say is accurate,
yes,
it's $191 plus $880.
Okay.
$1,071. So you want to explain to me why we have a lawsuit for $5,000?
Absolutely. There were other very small charges. His pet was hit by a car, had to have emergency surgery. Veterinary clinic needed payment to receive the animal back, things like that, that I did put on. That was just prior to the trip. That was May 2nd. The unfortunate thing is that I had one credit card at the time, and we used that for the entire vacation, and due to the fact that it was in 2000, because of non-payment, I've had interest for over 2 years on a credit card.
Should have paid it off.
Which he agreed to.
You should have paid it off.
You're right.
Right.
If I had the money, I would. You're right.
Shouldn't have gone on the trip if you didn't have the money. He didn't have the money, you didn't have the money, then you don't go to Disneyland. You don't go to Fantasyland if you don't have, neither one of you have the money.
It's difficult to turn down a somewhat free vacation with someone that you do trust. I did trust him very much.
No. Listen to me.
Okay.
When did you meet him?
January.
You met him in January.
Yes.
You're going away in May.
Correct.
Right? January, February, March, April, May. Did he have a job in January?
The entire time, yes.
He had a job in February?
Correct.
March?
Yes.
April?
Yes.
So why didn't he have any money? You told me he was living with relatives.
That was kind of the problem. He never seemed to have any money.
Well, then I don't know. I would begin to scratch my head if I were an intelligent girl.
I did shortly thereafter.
Well, you do it shortly before you expend money.
You're right.
I mean, you wanted to trust him. The fact that you wanted to trust him doesn't mean that you had any cause to trust him.
Right. We had a rapport built up. He'd borrowed very small amounts in the past, and he paid them back immediately. I had a lot of trust in him at the time.
Well, so then maybe if he borrowed small amounts, he paid them back immediately. Maybe his answer to your lawsuit has some validity. Mr. Stewart, what's your answer, sir?
Your Honor, I'm sorry. Your Honor, we went on this vacation, all right? We started going out on Valentine's Day that February. It was supposed to be like a gift to me, okay?
Why would you make a gift of a trip to you?
Well, Your Honor.
Don't be an actress, please.
Okay.
Your Honor, I love her very much, all right? And I think she felt the same way back to me. And I thought it was just, she knew I was getting stressed out at my job. She was getting stressed out, and she told me it was the happiest place on earth. So, so we decided.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I mean, I just have a hard time seeing how, a $400 trip to Disneyland has accumulated to $5,000.
It hasn't.
Okay.
Only in her mind. Only in the fantasy of her own mind.
Okay.
And later today.
I had a lady from Protective Services show up at my door. There had been a conflict at their home, and I was under the impression Teresa was hit, and that's why she came to.
I just relocated to Oregon, and I guess I just really don't know how to manage my money that well, especially at the time. And
were you using drugs?
No, ma'am.
Well, if you were working, you were living with relatives.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? And you weren't spending a lot of money on the plaintiff. What were you doing with your money?
I really wasn't making that much money at the
What kind
the
of
first
work were you
place.
doing?
We worked at a detox detention center together.
Were you working 2 jobs at the time?
Shh, don't speak to him. All right. Let us say that the two of you should not have gone on this vacation together if neither of you had the money. So let's say you split this vacation.
Well, in that case, Your Honor, I mean, I would say that if you did have an agreement like that, it would be a $400 trip. And we got back, and she was having a hard time paying her credit card. I gave her almost $400 to help her out with her credit card in the first place.
Did you?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have any proof of that?
No, I don't.
When did you give her $400? So she said you gave her 80.
It was just over a period of time. Like I give her $50 here, $50 there.
Really?
I mean,
Do
just
you
to help her
remember?
out.
You remember all those times, Mr. Stewart?
Yes, ma'am.
You got a pretty good memory.
Well, it's just, I mean, $400, that's not that many payments of $50.
Was it cash or checks?
It was cash.
Are you speaking to him?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I mean, I just have a hard time seeing how, a $400 trip to Disneyland has accumulated to $5,000.
It hasn't.
Okay.
Only in her mind. Only in the fantasy of her own mind.
Okay.
All right. We talk about furniture. You're talking about pots, pans, teacups. What about that?
Your Honor, most of this stuff, she was staying with relatives at the time as well. And she asked me to hold on to it at her place because she had it in storage. I had it in my place. As soon as we broke up, I helped load it up in her car for her, and she took it all back.
What about stuff she bought? You know,
she bought a couple of things like plates and such, and you know, we got it from like one of those dollar stores where they sell plates, you know. And I mean, she did buy stuff for me, but I was under the impression it was a gift. You know,
did you ever tell her that you're going to pay her back for it?
No, ma'am. There was no meeting of the minds.
I don't believe that you did either. Ma'am, I have a witness also.
I'll hear you witness.
Okay, thank you.
Tell me your name.
Heather Walker.
All right, Miss Walker, tell me what you know.
I witnessed a conversation at my home between Mr. Stewart and Kimberly, where he very clearly stated that he knew he owed her a large amount of money. He was going to pay her.
Well, tell me about when that happened and under what circumstances.
It would have been about a week after my birthday of that year because Kimberly and I weren't able to be together.
When's your birthday?
July 11th.
Okay, so in July, you witnessed a conversation. Tell me what you best recall of the conversation.
That they'd visited for about a half an hour. They were going to leave and go to a restaurant. Mr. Stewart said that he did not have cash on him and would Kimberly mind paying for this, whatever they had eaten, and he promised to pay her back.
Now, what did he say? He said, I'll pay you back.
He said, I will pay you back.
I'll pay you back.
Yeah. I'll give you your money back. She made sort of a sarcastic remark about, like the other money that you paid me back.
Right.
That's about the end of the conversation, but except for he got a little bit defensive because I asked him why he hadn't been paying. He said, you know what, I don't want to fight about this. Kimberly's already been giving me some guff about it, and I will pay her back.
And did they go out for dinner?
Yes.
And I assume you paid? Right?
Yes.
No, I don't recall that conversation at all.
I don't recall you paying me $400.
Listen to me. Don't speak to him. Okay. If you wanted to speak to him, you shouldn't come here.
Can I submit a few things to you?
I'm not interested in the few things that you want to submit to me, madam. Let me explain something to you. You had a romance that ended 2 years ago.
Yes.
Put a period and move on.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today.
Do you see your daughter, Teresa?
No, Your Honor.
Why not?
Well, she lived on bad terms, and until she gets her act together, Your Honor, I don't want her in my house because she's a danger.
How's she behaving in your house?
She's a hand.
Robert says Disneyland was a Valentine's gift.
I believe that if the two of you took a stupid vacation together when neither one of you could afford to go on a vacation, the two of you ought to pay for it. I do not believe, Mr. Stewart, and even if I tended to believe that you gave her more money than you said, you had no proof that you gave her more money than you said you gave her because, according to you, she said to you, let's go on this wonderful trip together. You don't go on a trip if you can't afford it, so you have to pay for half the trip, $480. And I give you credit, sir, for the $80 that she says that you paid her back, which means that you owe her $400. Then we get to the quote-unquote furniture. I get the sense that you wanted to help furnish this little apartment for him so that he would be comfortable. Certainly, even if I believe you, and based upon what I've just calculated, I did, he owed you, according to you, $960. So he makes a $20 payment on $960. And you don't look like an unintelligent young lady. He had promised, according to you, to pay the whole thing back in a year. Well, if he makes $20 payments a month, that's going to take him a lot longer than a year to pay off $960. Well, then you're still going out for dinner with him, and according to your witness, still paying the bill. All not very smart. When your head is ruled by your heart, sometimes you do foolish things. And all I can suggest to you, Miss Arell, is that you put a period and move on. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $400. That's all.
Why does that excuse you may step out?
I think it's pretty bad that, you know, you have to go to court to solve some problems that can be solved at home.
Let this be a lesson to people. Don't ever lend anyone money. They'll twist it and turn it, and it's just going to be a bad situation either way.
There was no money owed, so there's no payments to be made.
Don't lend money to your firstborn. It doesn't matter who it is. Don't do it. You'll get hurt.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Hill versus Pito. Step forward, please.
Food clerk Lori Hill is suing her ex-husband, maintenance technician Dennis Pito, for the return of child support. Dennis says Lori still owes him for an unpaid medical bill.
Ms. Hill, you and the defendant have 2 children together, 2 daughters.
That's correct.
And according to your complaint, both of the girls were living with the defendant. Was that by court order?
Yes.
How long had the children been living with the defendant?
About 8 years.
And how old are they?
15 and 12.
What are their names? 15-year-old.
Teresa and Amy.
You were ordered to pay child support to the defendant for the two girls.
That's correct.
According to your complaint, there came a time when one of the girls came to live with you, and there was an agreement that since there is sometimes a lag in the accounting through the court, that any money that you paid after your older daughter Teresa came to live with you would be returned to you. It is your claim that Mr. Pito owes you $303. Mr. Pito says that you actually, despite the fact he doesn't have a counterclaim, owe him for a medical bill for one of the girls. Is that right, sir?
Yes.
Okay. The children had been living with Mr. Pito for 8 years. Did you have visitation with the girls?
Yes.
And under what circumstances did Teresa come to live with you?
I had a lady from Protective Services show up at my door. There had been a conflict at their home, and I was under the impression Teresa was hit, and that's why she came to stay with me.
What was the amount of the support that you were paying for the two girls?
$102 weekly.
How long had you been paying child support?
For the whole time that he had,
the whole
8
8
years, yes.
Did you have a discussion with Mr. Pito with regard to the child support when Teresa came to live with you?
Yes, he, when he dropped her stuff off at my home, he had this paper for us to sign.
May I see it, please? Thank you. Okay. You say you'll waive the $104 in child support. That means that each of you was going to take care of one child, and there would be no support paid by either one. Is that right?
That's right.
And that is dated 12/4/01. Was any money taken out of your check after the 4th of December?
Yes, I have all my...
Is that the $303?
Yes.
Do you acknowledge, Mr. Pito, and let's not get to the medical yet, that the plaintiff paid child support beyond whatever these debts are of $303 that you received after December 4th?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Okay. Now tell me why you think that you shouldn't have to give that back to her.
Well, Your Honor, when I made that agreement with her, after that, I realized there were still pending medical bills from when Amy had her asthma attack on September 2000, and there was a $1,700 bill. And at that time, she was still required to pay 36% of that $1,700. And after talking to the medical staff that was billing me, she told me that most of it might be taken care of, but at the very least, there's still going to be a $212 balance.
What do you mean most of it was going to be taken care of? What does that mean?
Well, because between her insurance and my insurance, they're trying to see who's the primary and who's the secondary. And before that's settled, and I have to pay the bill, I want to make sure that she doesn't have any more outstanding bills.
So what you're saying is you signed this document, then afterwards you realized that there may be some money owing for a 2-year-old medical bill because the insurance hasn't been sorted out yet. Is that right?
That's right.
Mr. Pito, when you get your act together with regard to how much money you think Ms. Hill owes you, and all the insurance claims have been submitted and ultimately resolved, you have the ability to go in and file a claim against her if she still owes you any money. In the meantime, you have to return the $303 that you accepted from her after you signed this document indicating that you would not be taking any money from her. She would not be asking you for any money. You were both going to assume full financial responsibility for each of the girls that were in your custody. Okay? Now, that's easy. Do you see your daughter, Teresa?
No, Your Honor.
Why not?
Well, she lived on bad terms, and until she gets her act together, Your Honor, I don't want her in my house because she's a danger.
She's 15 years old. How's she behaving in your house?
She's a handful.
She's a handful?
Yes, she is.
I've got a feeling that you got the easier end of the bargain at this point. Is that right?
Your Honor, I've had custody for those girls for 8 years. And
Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Gentlemen, have seats.
Mr. Ortiz, you and the defendant have 3 children together. Is that right?
That's correct, Your Honor.
You say she owes you some money. Ms. Palacio says she doesn't owe you anything. As a matter of fact, she believes that you should give her some money for medical bills for the birth of one of your children, as well as some personal property. Is that right?
Yes.
How old are these children?
The other one is 4 years. That's a boy. The other one is 3 years. And my baby boy is about 9 months.
And where do these children live?
Currently, they live with the mother
Is that right?
Yes.
And who do you live with?
With my parents.
How long have you been together with Mr. Ortiz?
We were together for almost 5 years.
During that time that you lived together?
Yes.
Is that right?
That's correct.
When did you go back to live with your mother?
On May 28th, 2002.
And since you've been living with your mother, how much child support has Mr. Ortiz paid you?
Nothing.
Why?
Because she had failed to the child support agency to submit all the financial statement. Nothing had been settled to the child support
I don't care whether
agency.
it's been settled. What do you think? The kids don't eat between May and settlement date? They don't have doctors? They don't have clothes? What do you mean, no?
I mean, I do think the children, they eat, and they need stuff.
Why didn't you give her any money?
Because I don't have a job, Your Honor.
You have 3 children and no job?
That's true.
Really? Something wrong with you?
Yes.
What?
I got hurt at work on June 19 and got surgery on the July 27, and since then I've been TTD.
What's TTD?
Total temporarily disabled.
What's the nature of your disability?
Problems with my back.
And you just had these problems with your back since a month after she left?
No, that's incorrect.
Well, how long have you had problems with your back?
Over a year.
Over a year?
Mm-hmm.
Who supports you?
Nobody.
Who feeds you?
Nobody.
You mean you haven't eaten in a year? Mr. Ortiz, who supports you?
The only sort of income I was receiving was a work compensation.
How much?
This month I started receiving $210 for permanent disability.
Who do you live with?
Nobody.
Do you have your own apartment?
Yes, I do.
You pay rent?
No, I don't pay rent.
Who pays your rent?
Nobody, because I own the place.
You own what place?
The apartment.
When did you buy the apartment?
On the year 1999.
While you were still together?
Yes.
How much did you pay for it?
I paid $70,000.
You have a mortgage?
Yes, I do.
Who pays the mortgage?
I'm responsible to pay it.
Mr. Ortiz, you understand where I'm going, sir? You're suing her because you wanted to pay for the cost of a trip. Reimbursement for some of a Disneyland trip that you took with her. Who went on the trip? The 2 of you. Who else?
Or family.
The whole family?
Yes.
When did you go on the trip?
On September last year.
Was that shortly before or after you became disabled?
I was already disabled by then.
Then you shouldn't have gone on a trip to Disneyland. If you had no money, you don't go on a trip to Disneyland and expect her to pay half. She's got 3 children. You haven't paid her a dime since May. What, are you crazy? You think I'm going to give you any money? Shh, quiet! You think I'm going to give you any money? Man goes on disability. You're not too disabled to go to Disneyland. Spend a fortune in Disneyland when you're not working because you're disabled, because you have a back problem. And you expect me to order her to pay you for half of the trip to Disneyland? Hello? Then you want to be reimbursed for car insurance. You want to tell me about the car insurance?
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Last year, I referred her where she's currently employed. I put the word in for her, that way she can get hired. And then she didn't have a way to transportation. And then she said that she wanted to use my vehicle. And she promised me that she was going to pay for the maintenance and the car insurance for this vehicle.
I'm not even asking her that question. You mean because you were unemployed, because you're disabled, because you have a bad back, that only lets you go to Disneyland. She went and got a job. She needed a car to go to the job. You're living as a family with your 3 children. She drove your car, so you wanted to pay your insurance. Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're telling me? Hello?
What I'm telling you is that she promised that she was...
I don't care. I don't believe it. I'm not even going to ask her. I don't care. You made 3 children. You made a promise, morally, to support them. You haven't done it. For a long time, you haven't done it. What?
We split up in May. They spent 16 days with me, those children, on the month of June. The child support is to be retroactive as of June. Since then, I've been working with the child support agency, and I'm just waiting to pay all my...
Listen to me, sir. Because you're waiting for the child support agency to tell you how much to pay doesn't mean that you don't give her money for the children. Do you understand?
I understand, Your Honor.
Good. You're living in your condo, paying the mortgage. She's living with her parents, who did not bargain to have 3, 4 little kids home with them because the 2 of you split up. She can't afford to live in her own place. Are you working?
Yes.
What kind of work do you do?
Right now I'm a shift supervisor.
How many hours a day do you work?
Normally, a day I work 7.5.
And who takes care of your children?
My mother and my sister.
What about him? He doesn't do anything. Why did he babysit for the children during the day?
Because he was very abusive. That's why we got to court.
Well, he's very abusive, then I wouldn't let him take care of a goldfish. In any event, Mr. Ortiz, you get no money from her. Nothing. You have to have a good moral character. First of all, you live together with her as a family, despite the fact that you chose not to get married. Why, I will never know. If you made 3 children, is there any reason why you didn't get married?
Yes, Your Honor. There's a big
What is
reason.
that?
It's a long story from the very beginning. When she got pregnant, she was not living with me. You know, we were having an affair together.
Why don't you tell me why you didn't get married after your second child was born?
Because that was the reason. She was not living with me when she got pregnant with the second child.
What about with the third one?
With the third one, because she wanted an abortion. She never wanted to do nothing with me.
So you mean you asked her to marry you and she said no?
I never asked her to marry me.
You wanted her to ask you?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
My dear Mr. Ortiz, Bird didn't make your 5 children. You made your 5 children. If you can't afford to support 5 children, you don't make 5 children. Period.
And later today,
Miss Brooks says there was a terrible storm, and when she came down to check on
the dog,
she also checked on the
equipment,
and she doesn't know anything about anything. Correct.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Jose Ortiz says his ex-girlfriend, Mary Palacios, owes for the cost of a trip to Disneyland. Mary says Jose doesn't pay child support for their 3 kids.
What do you want? Medical bills?
Yeah, at least half of the medical bills and reimbursement for everything he kept. Because when I left him with only what I had and a few change of clothes for my children.
Tell me why.
Because I was already afraid of him, and I had it already. I got fed up. And when I asked him that I wanted the rest of my clothing, he told me that it was his property, that I had no right going back to his property. So I never went back. Only one time I went back with 2 sheriffs who escorted me in order to keep the peace. The only thing I ended up getting out of there as well was a few more changes of clothes, but I didn't get all of them. He kept the majority of them. But I left
of
him
your
because,
clothes?
Yeah, of my clothing. And I've seen
Where's
him
her
wear
clothing?
a few of my pants.
The only thing I have is this that she left on my card. That's it.
I'm sorry, that is a lie.
Just a second. Now tell me about the furniture. Did you keep all the furniture?
Yes, I do have all the furniture, Your Honor.
Who purchased it?
I did, Your Honor.
And what about her?
She didn't purchase nothing.
What was she doing?
Just home.
She was home taking care of?
The children. She didn't want to work. She put many excuses. Who's going to pay babysitting? I'll probably get the minimum wage. And then whatever I will be making, I will be spending on child care. That's what she told me.
And?
And she never wanted to work.
Okay. Listen to me very carefully, madam. You have no claim for furniture unless you can demonstrate to me that you paid for it. Mm-hmm. Because the 2 of you were not married for whatever reason. When you're not married, there is no court that's going to say that we're going to equitably distribute this property. And as far as the medical bills for the birth of one of the children, your family court action that settles the issue of support should also settle the issue of medical bills, because he is required by law, once paternity is established, to go back and pay, in addition to his child support, the birthing costs of the children. Do you understand that?
When we went to family law, I went to child support services, and I asked them if there's somehow that they can make him pay for the rest of this, because I've already paid for like half of it.
Let me see it. And they said what?
They told me what I needed was a court order stating that he is...
the father?
Actually saying that he does have to pay half of it.
Your Honor, she's claiming 2 bills. I have paid the one for Brea. The other one is from abortion that she had in the year 2000.
Is that true?
I've never had an abortion. And when we went to family law, he also signed his own stipulation saying that he would agree to pay half of it.
Oh, he did?
Yes. Only I didn't sign it because what he wanted me to agree on was joint custody, and that I didn't think was right, because they needed to be somewhere where, a stable home, not just
Well,
jumping.
nobody's going to give him custody of the children if you say he's abusive, and you can establish that.
Your Honor, I have joint custody, physical and legally, with my child.
Really?
Yes, I do.
Show
Not
me.
anymore.
I don't have the court order with me, but I do have joint custody, physical and legal, with my child.
Well, when are the children with you, sir?
They were Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That way she can have the weekend.
Is that right?
No, it's going to change now, because he was found to be mentally unstable in family law, and also that it was founded that he was very controlling and abusive in our relationship. And now what he's going to get from now on is supervised visitation, Saturdays from 10 to 2, Sundays 10 to 2, and it has to be supervised.
Is that correct, sir? I just want to know what the current order is. Is it for supervised visitation, or is it 4 days a week?
It's current until the order kick in.
When was the last time you saw your children, sir?
Last week.
When did you see them?
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And they stayed at your house?
Correct.
Do you have a copy of this order for supervised?
It's not in yet because it just went through October 10th, and it's not in yet.
Was he present?
Yes, he was.
Were you present when the court issued a ruling?
No, the ruling that the judge made it on the 11th this month. And I was on court hearing on the 10th because I want custody of my child that she's been abusing so much.
All right. When are they supposed to give you an order with regard to the child support?
I have an appointment October 28th to determine who's going to have to pay and how much.
Okay, fine. So I'm not making
Your
any
Honor, I
order.
have a court hearing yesterday for one of my childs, and my child support with my daughter was dropped to 0 because I can afford the payments. Also, you know, I've been using my credit card to pay for some of the stuff that my child needs.
Sir, I would suggest that what you do is you find another way of making a living. Did you walk into the courtroom today?
Yes, I
did.
did.
You walk into the courtroom today?
Yes, I did.
Have you been standing there for 20 minutes?
Yes, I do.
You haven't been using crutches or a cane. You've been standing there. You're going to turn around and walk out? And you're speaking. Is that right?
Yes, that's
Then what you have to do is to find a job, sir, that doesn't require the use of your back if your back hurts you. You have to find another way of earning a living.
I just got my license permits from the California. I'm
For
going
what?
to start to sell computers. I haven't even started my business. I have my permit, my state.
Oh, so you're going to start a business?
I'm going to start my own business, yes, Your Honor.
Good. You mean instead of getting a job so
Yes,
that she
Your
can
Honor,
attach your
because
salary? Are these the only 3 children that you have?
I have 5 children, Your Honor.
Where are your other 2 children, sir?
The other one is over there on the same town where I live. One of them is right here on LA.
How old are they?
The oldest one is 10 years old. The other one is 8 years old.
You send their mother's child support?
Yes, Your Honor.
When was the last time you sent money for those 2 children?
On my last paycheck that I got.
Which was when?
I believe it was like on the 15th.
Of what?
Of this month.
You told me you didn't get a paycheck. You told me you haven't been working in a year.
Yes, Your Honor, but my sole income is the permanent disability that I'm collecting right now, and they basing my child support on that. And then she's expecting me to pay child support too on top of supporting my other 2 children.
Listen, my dear Mr. Ortiz, Bird didn't make your 5 children. These 2 gentlemen didn't make your 5 children. You made your 5 children. If you can't afford to support 5 children, you don't make 5 children. Period. End of discussion. He supports his children. I support my children. We don't want to support your children. And if you can't support 5, you don't have 5. You have 1.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Jose Ortiz says his ex-girlfriend, Mary Palacios, owes for the cost of a trip to Disneyland. Mary says Jose doesn't pay child support for their 3 kids.
Mr. Ortiz, you get 0 from this lady. And madam, start life afresh. You have 4 children. Hopefully you can get some child support from him because you are not blameless in this whole thing either.
Yeah.
You know, you had 1 child, then you had 3 more with him. Bum, bada bum, bada bum, right? You're not married. How old are you?
25.
25. Not smart. Not smart. You have certain responsibility.
Yes, I know.
So, and you brought your troubles home to your mother because she didn't anticipate having to start rearing children now, I'm sure, at her stage in life.
That's true.
What you have to do is you have to realize you made a mistake, put a period, and move on. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Good. Goodbye, folks.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
He can't control me anymore. That's it. That's the bottom line.
Then with you, because you just have money, you don't have money to throw you away.
I was always too afraid to have him arrested because he always told me if I did have him arrested, he'd bring me down with him.
She put me like a boogeyman. Boo!
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Snyder versus Brooks. Step forward, please.
25-year-old hairstylist Jamie Ginsburg Schneider and her husband, Richard Schneider, are suing their neighbor, insurance agent Aaron Brooks, for destroying their entertainment system. The Schneiders say Aaron was watching their home while they were on vacation.
Mr. Schneider, the defendant is a neighbor of yours.
That's correct, ma'am.
And according to your complaint, you went away on vacation. Is this your wife?
Yes, ma'am.
And you had a house sitter there to take care of your dogs, and the defendant volunteered also to check on the dogs in the evening.
That's
She
correct.
had a key to your apartment. According to you, when you came a time when you discovered that some entertainment equipment was either damaged and or missing or was substantial loss on your part for this entertainment equipment, some sort of game station, television receiver. Ms. Brooks says that there was a terrible storm. And when she came down to check on the dogs, she also checked on the
equipment, lights, everything.
And she found that the equipment wasn't working, so she took it up to her house, right?
Correct.
To do something with it. And she immediately, when questioned about it, put it back, and she doesn't know anything, right?
Correct.
Can I see the estimates for the damage?
Yes, ma'am. The first one is the original receipt for the game center. That was the replacement receipt, and this
Just
next
give me
receipt,
what it cost to replace it.
I believe the totals came to about $1,533.
Mhm.
The game station was $213.
Right.
A television, $250. and for the replacement home theater, it came to $770.91.
What's the home theater?
That includes a home theater receiver as well as speakers, speaker wire.
Well, was all that destroyed?
No, ma'am, it wasn't destroyed. However, the speakers that went with the original one were incompatible with the newer model to replace that actual home theater receiver, so they needed to be purchased in order to work with the new receiver.
So my question to you, Ms. Brooks, is you had an agreement that you would come in the evening and check on the dogs. Is that right?
Yes.
What were you thinking about putting your hands on any of their equipment?
Well, we went in, I mean, Candace would watch TV there every night. I would go in and sit with the dog there and bring it up to my apartment.
Bring what up to your apartment?
The dog.
So you brought the dog up to your apartment. It's not what I asked you. You took entertainment equipment from their house to your house, and I'm asking you why.
Well, because all the lights were out and nothing was working in the apartment, and
So?
same thing in mine. So I did check their stuff. The Xbox would not come on. Everything else did.
Why did you take it to your apartment?
I wanted to see if it would work up there. I did not know what was wrong, and I just checked
Well,
it.
they didn't ask you to do that.
Well, I know that, but...
फागुन आयो रे फागुन आयो रे कि फागुन आयो रे फागुन आयो रे अब के बरस से होली खेलो अब के बरस से होली खेलो मुरारी संग अब के बरस से होली खेलो रे कि फागुन आयो रे फागुन आयो रे कि फागुन आयो रे फागुन आयो रे
आयो रे गोरी आयो रे गोरी आयो रे फागुन आयो रे गोरी आयो रे गोरी
I took it upon myself to do that. There was other people in the apartment. 3 other people had keys.
That's okay.
It was 2
Just a second. I don't care. Other people did not take equipment. I mean, that's burglary. Madam, you had no permission to do that. You had limited permission. Your limited permission was to enter the house to look after the dogs. You had no permission to check the equipment. You had no permission to touch the equipment. No permission to remove it from the armoire where it had been housed. No permission to take it up to your apartment. No permission to try to see if it worked in your apartment. You had no permission to do that. That's burglary. What?
Ms. Brooks also told us when we got home and noticed all the damage that she was entertaining friends the night that she took the equipment out of the house, and she did not want to bring the friends into our apartment for fear of something happening. So she decided to take the stuff upstairs to her house. That way they could use it in her apartment instead of being...
Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
You are Miss Eckert?
Yes.
Miss Eckert, it is your claim that the defendant owes you for some rent, some other bills from taking money out of your ATM account, and Mr. Procopio
That's correct.
It's your claim that Mr. Marcus assaulted you. You want to be compensated. Tell me, how do you know him, Miss Eckert, and when you moved in together, and what was the rent arrangement?
I met him last July, and we just became friends, and he had a 5-year-old son, and I had a 6-year-old son, and he was living in a 2-bedroom apartment, and I was living in a 3-bedroom house, and we both couldn't afford the places that we lived in, so we decided we move in together, just as roommates, and he can take care of my son while I go to work, just take him to school in the morning, and then the rent would be $300, and if he doesn't do that, then the rent would be $400.
How much was the total rent?
$850.
And how many people were living in the house?
It was just me and my son at the time.
When did he move in?
In the middle of September.
No, that's not true.
I'll get you in a minute. When was he supposed to start to pay rent? In October?
Yeah.
Did he pay October's rent?
No.
When did he move out?
Middle of May.
That's not true either.
From October until May, did he pay rent?
No.
Never?
No.
So why did you let him stay?
Because he always said he's getting a job. Every month I asked him, are you going to come up with some money? He was supposed to get food stamps too, you know, from the welfare. And every month he came up with a new story. One time he said he's going to sell his motorcycle, and I didn't want him to do that. And then he had a job at one time.
Yeah.
For a day, and then he lost that job.
Not true.
Do you think I'm going to give you a chance, sir?
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
Then I want you to try to contain yourself. So he didn't pay you any money from October until May?
No.
So let's deal with the rent first. Now, Mr. Marcus, look who's having a turn. When did you move in according to your calendar, sir?
It was the middle of October.
Okay.
Actually, almost towards the end of October, when I come back from Mexico.
So according to you, you should have started to pay rent.
1st of November.
Thank you for anticipating. Did you pay rent?
No, not at the first. No, I didn't.
Why not?
Well, because I didn't have the money at that time.
What were you doing in Mexico?
I was helping a friend move his family down there.
Explain that to me.
It was just another friend of mine who needed assistance driving his family to Mexico. He asked me to help him.
You're making me very nervous, sir. Could you speak without moving so much?
Yeah. Well, he asked me to help him move his family to Mexico. I did so. I was down there for a month.
So you weren't working at the time?
No.
And you were free?
I was taking care of my son. He was under medical conditions, so...
What kind of medical conditions?
He was mauled by dogs, so he needed intensive care 24/7.
How old is he?
He is now 6. At the time, he was 5.
So you took your son, who needed full-time medical care, down to Mexico
No,
for
I
a
didn't.
month.
I left him with his grandmother.
The name of the friend who you helped move to Mexico?
Mario.
Mario.
Yeah, Mario. That's all I know.
Mr. Marcus, you see anything written here, sir?
No, ma'am.
Dumb, stupid.
No, I'm not saying that.
Do you think that I think that you were going down to move somebody whose name you don't even know, and you stayed with them for a month and you don't know their last name?
No, I don't. Actually, I couldn't even pronounce it if I did.
All right, Mr. Marcus. So November you didn't pay any rent. What about December?
Yes, I did give her some money. I did give her some cash.
Good. How much did you give her, sir?
I believe it was $150.
And in January?
I think it was another $100, $150.
February?
Not believe February, no.
March?
No, that's when we started getting eviction notices, so she didn't pay either. It was pretty much everybody disbanded the house, and off we went.
April?
No, nobody was there in April.
When did you move out?
March.
So according to you, sir, for the entire time you were there, you gave her a total of $250.
Well...
That's what you just told me?
Well, partial, yes.
That's what you just told me?
Yes, I understand that. Partial.
That's what you just told me?
That's cash, yes. I bought all the food for the house.
Food?
Yes, food. Well, she then proceeded to move Sal in.
I'm not there yet. Miss Eckert, okay. I want you to tell me about this ATM card. I read your papers, and I don't think that you can prove it to me, but I'll listen to you anyway because I'm always trying to be fair.
Well, I got my paycheck and I deposited, and my bank account was way overdrawn, and I was like, there's something wrong. So I got a statement from the bank, a printout, and I noticed that there was some stuff on there that was charged on my debit card that wasn't made by me, and there was a 1-800 number next to it. So I called it, and I got to find out it was a...
She gave me the credit card.
Go.
It was a porn website.
That's not what it was.
Yes.
That's what the guy said on the phone.
That's not what it was.
Oh, okay. What makes you think it was Mr. Marcus who used your debit card?
Because the guy on the phone asked me what my email address is, and I said I don't have an email address. He asked me if I got a computer in my house, and I said
she did.
I want you to be quiet until I look in your direction.
And he asked me if I know somebody by the name of Michael Marcus, and I said yes, that's my roommate. And he said that's the person who got the charge on my debit.
And what was the charge?
You want to take a look at this?
Sure. And
because of that, my bank account got totally overdrawn, so I got all those overdraft charges on there too.
Just tell me how much it was.
But all combined with the overdraft charges, about
forget the
$200.
overdraft charges. Just what you allege he charged.
About $100.
Now we're ready to go to you, sir. I want you to tell me about this assault. When did it take place?
12th of April.
You have a police report?
No, I did not call the police. I was going to pretty much let the whole issue go until my wife and him were going to go to court.
Mr. Marcus, do you think you're helping yourself, sir?
No, ma'am. I just want the truth.
Well, then wait your turn, and I'll hear. How are you related to him?
Can I speak?
No! I asked you a question. I said, how are you related to him?
I'm a witness.
How are you related to him?
We have a child together.
My condolences.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Beat him up.
Now, 12th of April.
Correct. After the eviction notice came, we were supposed to be out the 1st of the month.
First of what?
April, I believe.
1st of April.
Yeah.
Why were you being evicted?
Due to unpaid rent.
When was the last time you paid rent?
I never paid any rent.
When was the last time you paid rent?
In February.
In February?
As far as the credit card is concerned...
Let's talk about the credit card.
Oh, well, it was handed to me. She knew all about it.
I'm not talking about the credit card now.
Well, we need to address it.
If I need to address it, I'll address it. Now, get back to the date of the assault.
Mr. Marcus came into the kitchen first thing in the morning and was upset about the whole lawsuit. Heidi had already, processed a claim to sue him in small claims. He was adamant that I was the one that put her up to it. And
when did you move into the house, sir?
Middle of November.
November.
I mean, probably within the first 30 days of Mr. Marcus moving in.
So you moved in after Mr. Marcus moved in?
I lived there prior. I moved out.
You moved in after Mr. Marcus moved in?
Yes.
After her arrangement with Mr. Marcus?
Correct.
Did you pay rent?
No.
Why not?
I was unemployed at the time.
That's not his problem.
Yeah, I stayed in the room with my estranged wife. I slept on a couch sometimes.
At any time, did either you or Miss Eckert receive public assistance?
No.
Not me.
What about you?
No.
So how are you supporting yourself, Mr. Precipio?
Me and everybody else was supporting him.
With the help of friends.
Was I looking at you?
Well,
was I looking at you?
That's who was supporting him. Everybody else in the house.
You know, right now he's preparing to tell me about the fact that you punched him while sitting in the kitchen.
No,
a fact
that
that you acknowledge. Your defense to that, sir, is that you were afraid that he was going to assault you with a knife he was holding.
Yes.
Your actions today in dealing with me suggest that you're so dumb that you don't recognize that if you maintain a different kind of demeanor, I might believe the fact that you were in fear of your life and therefore responded by assaulting him, by punching him.
Well, if you hear my story, I'll tell you.
However, this would, because if you listen to me, you would understand that if you were quiet and respectful of where you are,
Then I get
and
shut out.
understand where you are, you see how we're addressing each other, and you see how quiet they are? Because at this point, I'm looking in your direction. You have no self-control. You can't. Tell me about the assault, sir. You were in the kitchen. He came in. He was angry because you filed a small claims case. And he did what to you?
He smacked me upside my face.
How did he do that? With an open hand or a closed hand?
It was closed hand and an open hand. There was two of them, in which I got out of the house.
Okay.
And I left.
And
I wasn't, you know, I wasn't.
My mouth is moving.
Excuse me.
When he hit you, did you have any injury?
I had a cut on the inside of my mouth.
Okay, so you had no serious injury?
No, none at all.
And you did not respond in kind by hitting him back
No.
because... Okay. Did you, in fact, have a knife in your hand?
I was doing the dishes. At the time, we weren't sitting in the kitchen. I was standing at
You
the
were
sink.
standing. And Mr. Marcus, at no time did he hit you, is that right?
No, he did not.
Stop! And you walked into the kitchen, is that correct?
Yes, I did.
The fact that Mr. Procopio was not seriously injured, or was not really injured at all, does not mean that you get a free whack. So that slap upside his head and little cut on the inside is going to cost you $500, Mr. Marcus. So far, I am eliminating these charges from here because everything that you told me, Ms. Eckert, with regard to the person that you called at your ATM card, is hearsay. However, I am persuaded that Mr. Marcus owes you for rent. So, judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,000. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She's fine. I mean, we always got along. I'm kind of bummed that it came to this.
He owes me money. And if this time I'm not going to let it go.
He doesn't deserve a dime.
I wish everybody well. I wish it didn't all have to come to this.
I have no hard feelings against Heidi. As far as he's concerned, he's a chump.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Caban versus Reyes. Step forward, please.
Hairstylist William Caban is suing his former friend, 25-year-old waiter Jeffrey Reyes, for an unpaid loan to bail him out of jail.
According to your complaint, the defendant owes you for bailing him out of jail.
Yes.
Tell me exactly how that happened, sir.
We went out on Thursday night to karaoke. And
What was the date?
May 16th. And one of my friends met me at the bar. And he wanted to leave. I asked Jeffrey, do you want to go? He says, no, I want to stay.
Your Honor, he left me there.
Just 1 second. I'll get to you. Go ahead. Get to you. Go ahead.
And I said, do you want to come? He said, no, I'm going to stay here. I want to sing. So I said, okay, I'll do you a favor. I gave him my ATM card. I gave him $20 plus my car keys. And I said, I'll talk to you later.
ATM card for what?
To drink. He didn't have no money.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day he calls me and said he's in jail to bail him out of jail.
That's not true, Your Honor.
I said,
Mr. Reyes, could you wait until I look at you and ask you questions, please? Now look at me. Could you do that?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did he say to you?
He said, Will, can you please come and get me out of jail? Do you have the money to get me out of jail? And I did not have the money to get him out of jail. I had to go running around town, borrow money to get him out, because he kept on calling me every 15 minutes that my cell phone died and his cell phone died. There's 3 cell phones in the car, and they all died because he was calling us so much.
What do you mean 3 cell phones in the car?
We had 3 cell phones in the car. There's 3 people trying to get him out of jail. The only one that got him out of jail was me.
Well, who else was in the car?
Another friend of his roommates. I don't know his name.
So you're driving around with 2 other friends in the car?
No one had money to get him out.
Just answer my question, sir. You're driving around with 2 other friends.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do this my way.
Okay.
Do you understand? Because my way, I'm going to get the truth.
Okay.
Where were you going?
We getting money to bail him out of jail.
And when you bailed him out, what did he say to you?
He said to me, thanks. And I said, you need to pay me back.
And what did he say?
He said, yes, he'll pay me back. And I stressed it to him. I need this money back.
All right, Mr. Reyes, now I'm going to hear your version of the events, sir. What were you arrested for?
Driving with a suspended license.
So I gather you took the car keys and went home.
I stayed in the bar till 2 o'clock in the morning till they had last call. They did not come back. He had left his keys on there. He did not tell me he was going. They both just left. So how am I supposed to get home? I took the keys and I drove home. Then I went home, there was a cop already there. They had my name on a piece of paper like someone had called the cops on me already. So I went there, he asked to see my driver's license. I showed him my driver's license, and he took me to jail.
Then you called him.
Yes, I called him.
And what did you say when you
I
called
said,
him?
Will, what happened yesterday? He goes, oh, I left you the car. He said, I didn't come back yesterday. He said, why, where are you? I said, I'm in jail. He goes, oh, don't worry, I'll get you out. He said, don't worry about it. Trust me, I'll get you out. I don't have the money to pay him back. I didn't ask him to bail me out. If he bailed me out, it's because he felt sorry for leaving me with the car. He knew I couldn't drive with a suspended license. I didn't want to drive.
Why was your license suspended?
Not paying a ticket. And I got pulled over before, and he gave me a ticket for driving with the suspended license. And he said, next time you will go to jail. So I didn't want to drive.
Where do you live?
I live in Orlando.
And is that where the karaoke bar was?
Yes.
Now, Orlando, Florida is a major metropolis. I've been to Orlando, Florida. Do you know what they have in Orlando, Florida?
Disney World? I don't know.
Do you know what else they have in Orlando? Taxi cabs.
Your Honor, I had no money.
Your Honor, I
I'm
left
not-
him with money.
Just a
I
second.
left him set.
Just a second.
All right.
Yeah, by the time the bar was closed, I was broke.
Mr. Reyes, that's what you call lack of planning, sir. Because if you were waiting for him and he didn't come back and he left after 20 minutes, something should have gone on in your head that said to you, maybe I am stranded here, so I better take the $20 that he gave me and put a couple of dollars away so that you could call a taxi cab to take you home, since you didn't have a driver's license.
I understand what you're saying, Your Honor, but he left me an ATM card. Taxi cabs do not take ATM cards.
And $20.
He had an open tab on the bar. When it closed, it was closed with $20 that I had spent drinking.
What happened as a result of that case, Mr. Reyes?
They gave me day served.
And a fine?
Yes.
How much was the fine?
The fine.
Versus Thompson. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Miss Gibbs, the defendant's daughter, I assume this young lady.
Yes.
Is a babysitter for you.
Briefly, yes.
And your lawsuit wants her parents to pay for the following, because she's a minor.
Correct.
She ran up a phone bill from your house?
Mm-hmm.
So you want them to pay for the phone bill?
Correct.
And you want a return of the money that you paid her for babysitting?
Yes.
Because you say she was not a good babysitter.
Not exactly because she wasn't a good one, but more or less she was not attending to them.
Okay, that's your lawsuit. The Thompsons have a counterclaim, and the Thompsons want you to pay more for babysitting, because they say that you owe their daughter for babysitting. And they say that they also want punitive damages because they say that you were a bad influence on their daughter, which they will explain to me. So let's see where we can fix some responsibility here. What is your first name?
Clarissa.
When did Clarissa start to babysit for you?
Early February. I probably have an exact date in my calendar. Yeah, early February, like around the 9th, I believe, is the first time she babysat for me.
And how did you find her?
They lived above me in the apartment complex and had talked about babysitting and asked her to come over a few times prior
Who
to that.
did you talk to?
Clarissa.
Directly?
Yes.
So that all the arrangements that you made were with Clarissa?
Yes, ma'am.
And you arranged a fee?
Yes. After about a week or so, we decided that I would just go ahead and give her $30 a week because I was using her for an hour here, an hour there during the week.
So far, Clarissa, is that correct, that she was going to pay you $30 a week?
No, it is not.
Well, what was she supposed to pay you?
Well, she agreed to pay me $20 every time I babysat for her, which led to almost every day.
Really? $20 a day, even if you only babysat for an hour?
It was more than an hour. I would stay overnight sometimes because she would come home so late.
So starting the beginning of February, she started to babysit for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that right, Clarissa?
Yes, I started February 12th, actually.
Okay. Did she babysit for you in March?
Yes, she did.
Is that right, Clarissa?
Yes.
And you got paid?
Not really. She only paid me like once, and that was $60.
In all the time that you babysat for her?
Only $60.
Really?
Yes.
What about April? Did she babysit for you?
No,
in
ma'am.
April?
I received my first phone bill on March 24th.
And that's when you stopped the babysitting?
Actually, I had stopped babysitting about a week prior to that. I had come home and my 2-year-old had burned a popsicle stick on the stove. He said he was cooking it.
Okay. And how many weeks in total had she babysat for you?
Approximately 4 or 5.
How many weeks?
6.
Let's go through your book and figure out exactly how many weeks she babysat for you.
Would you like the book?
Yeah.
I didn't write down always when she babysat. I know I have the first few times written down.
She babysat every week for you after you hired her. She babysat for you for 5 weeks. Now, according to you, you were supposed to pay her $30 a week.
February 22nd was the first time I gave her $30. So I would imagine it would have been the first part of that week that we had made that agreement.
Well, then it's 4 weeks.
Okay, so
4 weeks times 30 is $120. Now, how much had you actually paid her?
I've actually paid $140 because of the time prior to that.
So according to your records, you're all paid up.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, tell me about the phone bill.
Clarissa would use the phone when she babysat, and from the very beginning I told her I did not have a problem with her using the phone, not to make long-distance calls. I'm a single mother. I don't have means to pay for long-distance. I don't use long-distance myself. I received my first bill on March 24th, I believe it was, that I put on there, and the long-distance charges for that month were $308.40.
Who were you calling, Clarissa?
It was an ex-boyfriend of mine at the time.
Did you know that that was the wrong thing to do?
When I first started babysitting for her, she told me that I had all privileges of the phone. She never told me not to make long-distance calls.
Well, did you make those long-distance calls in your own house?
Sometimes.
What do you mean sometimes?
Well,
did you ever get a phone bill for $300 a month?
No, ma'am.
No, of course not. Don't fool around with me, Clarissa. Don't fool around with me. Okay, so that's $308. Was that the total phone bill?
No, then I received one in mid-April for $31 in long distance, $87 in collect calls, and...
Was the boyfriend making collect calls to you?
No, he always called me direct.
So nobody called you collect?
No.
Does this have the number of the...
Yes, it does.
Is it the same number that she called?
No, ma'am, it's not. It's a Fresno number. When I asked Clarissa, have you been accepting collect calls from this number? And she says, no, I haven't, no, I haven't. And I have here $85 in collect calls. There's...
Well, she says she doesn't know whose those are, but it really doesn't make any difference.
They're not mine.
Let's say they're Clarissa's. Why should her parents be responsible for that?
Because she's a minor.
No, you're responsible for it. And I'm going to tell you why you're responsible for it. Because you have a mechanism where you can put on your phone a block so that you can't make long-distance calls.
I've never had a need for that. I make long-distance occasionally.
Let me explain something to you. Your business arrangement was never with Clarissa's parents. Your business arrangement was with Clarissa. And if you want to ensure that things in your house are not abused, you have to take steps to do that. Her parents can't come into your house and do that. You have to do that. They are not responsible for the long-distance call made by their daughter in your house. You're responsible. You have to be prudent and vigilant, make sure that the phone isn't used, put the phone away, lock up the phone, disconnect the phone, do whatever you want to do with it. But there is no way that you are going to hold the Thompsons responsible for her calls that she made.
I had
not going to happen.
The agreement with her mother at one time, though, Your Honor.
I don't care whether you discussed an agreement with her mother or not. They're not responsible. You're responsible because they have no ability to see to it that in your house the phone isn't abused. They know how to do it in their house because her mother wouldn't tolerate it. Right?
Right.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You think you're entitled to more money?
Well, yes.
Really? How much do you think she owes you?
Well, see...
Give me an idea.
I say about over $600.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Robbie Gibbs says former babysitter 16-year-old Clarissa Thompson ran up her phone bill with long-distance phone calls. Clarissa says Robbie still owes her money.
Go ahead.
Your Honor, he would call her directly when I was there.
So?
So I never had any clue that she was calling him or making
Neither did her
calls.
mother. Neither did her mother. You want to take care of your phone? Lock it in your drawer. It's not her mother's fault. And you'll know better next time. You hire a babysitter, you take out the phone. Or you put a block on it. You say you can't make long-distance calls. That's it. It's not legally responsible. And I can't find that her parents are responsible because you have the responsibility of ensuring that when you hire a teenage babysitter and you know that they sit on the phone and they can sit on the phone for hours, you make sure that they can't get to your phone. All right. Now, you want to tell me why you think you're entitled to any money back from the money that you paid her for babysitting?
Because she wasn't babysitting. She would go in my room and shut the door and use the phone. I came home on an occasion when that happened.
When was the first time you came home and found her?
It was about 2 weeks before I had her quit babysitting, and I told her she was not welcome at my home anymore. Her mother came down. We talked about it. Her mother assured me that it would not happen again. The following week is when I came home and my son had been burning a popsicle stick.
So? Then you fired her.
And then I fired her. Yes.
So why do you think you're entitled to anything back?
I just put it in there because I thought that I paid her for services that were not rendered.
You should have been more vigilant. If I came home and found my 2 babies weren't being cared for by a babysitter, I would say, thank you very much. I'm paying you for the day. You're not welcome back here
Which
anymore.
is what I did.
No.
And then her
you
mother
had a
came down and
conversation
spoke
with
with
her
me.
mother, and her mother assured you it wasn't going to happen again. Come on. Get real. All right. Now let's get to your counterclaim, if you're serious about it. You think you're entitled to more money?
Well, yes.
Really? Why don't you tell me why you think you're entitled to more money?
Well, because I did babysit for the kids, you know, like, because most of the time she was barely in there. She'd send her oldest son to come get me at 6:30 after she got off work, and then she'd be gone all night.
How much do you think she owes you for babysitting?
Well, see...
Give me an idea.
I say about over $600, but
Really? You think over $600?
Yes.
Really? And you babysat for her each and every week?
Yes.
And you accepted the money she gave you, and you didn't say to her, no, you owe me more than $30 a week. I'm not taking the $30. You came back and you babysat for her again, another week, and then another week, and then another week.
She kept promising me, oh, I have to go to the bank, oh, I haven't got my check yet, or I haven't cashed it. That's what she had kept telling me, so
I'm just going to sit on the phone and talk to my boyfriend. Forget any more money. Chalk it up to the time that you were sitting on the phone in the bedroom, chewing the fat with the boyfriend. You got me?
Yes.
Perfect. Is there anything else you want to tell me about your counterclaim?
Yes, ma'am. I was suing her for punitive damage because, actually, I don't want to do this.
Smart. Smart. It's her responsibility to take care of her phone. It's your daughter's responsibility to do the right thing if she's babysitting. I'm sure that you've had a chat with her about abusing the privilege of somebody else's phone. I have a feeling you have.
Yes, I have.
Okay. All right, Miss Gibb. Next time, you just be a little more careful, madam. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I was pretty upset.
I'm very sorry for Mrs. Gibbs, and I hope that she get her life together.
She said that she had permission. Her parents said, no, you didn't have permission.
They both played on the telephone.
Not to let teenagers babysit anymore.
not to babysit for people like her again.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Harvey versus Hyatt. Step forward, please.
Student Tammy Harvey is suing her ex-boyfriend, mechanic Glenn Hyatt, for the cost of breast reconstruction surgery. Glenn says Tammy's surgery is not his responsibility.
Miss Harvey, the defendant is a former boyfriend of yours, and it is your claim that he promised to pay for some repair work on breast implants that you had while you were together. You've since broken up, and he refuses to pay for this reconstructive kind of surgery, which you have not yet had. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. Were you living together?
At one point.
When?
From March till December of the past year.
And you had breast augmentation surgery previously, is that
Yes.
right? When? How old were you?
27.
Okay. So when you were 27, you had breast augmentation surgery for the first time. Did you ever have any subsequent surgery?
Yes, I had problems.
What kind of problems did you have?
With the first set, I had hardening, which they took them out and put saline and silicone in, where they would enhance them gradually so it wouldn't build up the scar tissue.
And how
then
old were you when that happened?
all of this happened within 5 years. I had like 5 surgeries.
5?
Mm-hmm.
When you were 27, you had the first surgery. When did you have the next one?
Like the year after that.
Why?
After the hardening, they wanted to take out the bulbs that they used to put the saline in. And when he took the bulbs out, he wanted to just put in a new fresh set with the upgraded implants.
So that's when you were 28.
Right.
When did you have the next surgery?
It was a couple of weeks after that I developed a staph infection, and they removed the right breast implant, and then I went a year without an implant.
Without?
Right.
Miss Harvey, you went and had the implants put in again.
I had to because the skin had stretched so much. The doctor said it wouldn't look normal if he hadn't put another implant in there to replace the...
So then you were 29?
Correct.
So now I have 4 surgeries. When was the 5th?
The year after that, after the staph infection, he put new saline implants in, and then they were fine for the next 8 years.
What happened 8 years later? So at that point, you're about 38.
Right. I started dating the defendant, and I was having some problems. They were hurting. We massaged them together, Glenn and I, and in an intimate moment, the right one, it ruptured. And it took some time before the saline came down. But over time, you know, it was obvious, and it made a real impression on my self-esteem and everything. And the defendant and I were engaged to be married, and we were getting his finances in order so we could be married. So I was taking care of the majority of the bills and helping him. And when it came time for me to have my surgery, because last summer we couldn't enjoy going to the pool and everything like that, that's when he took me to the doctor. I had 2 consultations, and the surgeries were between $6,400 and $6,700. At that time, the defendant did a quick app financing the surgery, but it was denied. And now, I wanted to get this taken care of because it is noticeable, and I have pain because scar tissue builds up around the implant where it is because it's flat now, it's not smooth, and I have a lot of pain, and psychologically it's just hurting me, and he's backed away from his commitment to me.
Well, I didn't hear about a commitment.
We've talked over the 2 years about taking care of it.
As a couple?
As a couple.
When you were sharing expenses?
Correct.
Okay, you want to say anything, Mr. Height?
I just deny any responsibility for ever saying that I would pay for her surgery, and I had nothing to do with it, with her implant rupturing.
I have a quick app that he said he would pay for it, and I have the doctor's with a picture.
Okay, go ahead.
I filled out that application to help her get the money, for financing her surgery. That's the only reason that I did it. It wasn't to say that I would pay for it.
I think that there is some truth somewhere in the middle of your 2 statements, and that is that it was contemplated that as a couple, since you were going to be pooling your money at some point if you got married, this would be a joint debt because you were filling out the credit application if you couldn't get credit, and you were going to be a couple and move on, and this was just going to be one of the things that you had to pay off. Would that be a fair statement?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Okay, so that's somewhere in the middle of he promised to pay for it and I didn't promise to pay for it. It was going to be a family debt. But you're no longer a family, Miss Harvey. That's your problem. There has to be a reason.
I put most of our debts for the past 2 years on my credit cards to help him get out of debt in the promise that we would be married. And I did have a promise he would pay for it. He's not telling the truth. He said he would pay for the surgery.
Oh, I think that it was a family obligation that when you were together, you put the majority of your money to use paying off debt. That was a nice thing. However, that does not create a promise that he would take care of this for you. I have just a couple of questions, Mr. Height. How much do you think she paid off in debt for you over the short time that you were together?
I don't recall her ever paying anything off for me. We took some trips and went to eat and things like that on her credit card. But as far as her taking money and paying any of my financial responsibilities, monthly debts and bills, that never happened.
So what you're saying is that she relieved you of certain stress by paying for your entertainment and your vacations
expenses.
And some living expenses.
He lived free.
Did you pay rent when you were living together?
I did not pay rent. I paid the utilities.
Not always. I paid 7 out of 5 times for the utilities.
I mean, you paid 5 times out of 7 months.
No, he was
Can't
more.
pay 7 out of 5. That math doesn't work. Miss Harvey,
Yes.
the romance is over. It's sad that it's over. And I'm not going to give you any medical advice because I'm not a doctor, but it seems to me a substantial part of your late 20s, early 30s, and now beyond are involved in recuperating from surgery. Maybe you should just say, this was not meant to be.
The doctor said that I would have to have the surgery, and the implants needed to come out because of chance of infection, and that
Do you have medical insurance?
No, I don't. They won't cover it because it's cosmetic.
Well, this isn't cosmetic if the doctor says it has to come out. For medical reasons, the chance of infection, then that's not a cosmetic reason.
They both
Ms.
denied my insurance.
Well, then I would appeal it, because if what you're saying to me is that you have medical proof that this is dangerous to your health, then your insurance should pay for it. They may not pay for the reconstructive part, but they certainly should pay for removing them. In any event, I find that no promise existed, no contract existed between the plaintiff and the defendant for him to assume the full responsibility of your surgery. And unfortunately, Ms. Harvey, I think you're going to have to assume the responsibility of this surgery yourself. Case is dismissed, that's all.
Party Spencer versus Drever. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Thank you, Rick.
You're welcome, Judge.
Ms. Spencer, Mr. Drever is your former boyfriend. You have a child together.
Yes.
According to your complaint, he owes you for a month's rent and a phone bill, a cell phone bill, from well over a year ago. The reason you waited to sue him was because he was incarcerated for the last year based upon an incident that occurred about a year ago with you.
Yes.
Mr. Drever, according to what I read, you were on probation for something else. There was an argument. She alleged that you hit her. You were ultimately convicted of that. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you incarcerated for the year on that conviction or on the parole violation?
Both, Your Honor.
What had you been on parole for?
Aggravated assault, ma'am.
On her?
It was another man.
Have you learned to control your temper a little better?
Yes, ma'am.
That's a good thing. Now, tell me about first the phone bill.
Back in approximately June of 2001, Keith had recently gotten out of a correctional facility after getting out of jail. It was a drug rehab program, and right around the time he got out, he started developing a relationship with our son again.
How old is your son?
He's 4. So because of his credit history, he couldn't get a home phone, so he tried to get a cell phone. He asked me, since I had a phone already in my name, would I be willing to get a secondary phone so that we could be in contact with each other in case of emergencies or what have you, since there were going to be times when our son would be with him. He agreed he'd pay the $14.99 a month plus any charges he incurred for going over the minutes. He never paid me on any of it.
Okay, so how much was his portion of the bill?
His portion total is $678.20.
Okay, let's deal with the phone first. Yes, sir.
With the cell phone, I disagree as far as the reason why I got the phone. We had discussed with her particular job, she goes on call, and she would need someone to watch my son, who was 3 at the time. And then what wound up happening is the phone turned into more like an electronic leash.
So I gather you saying that she wanted to keep tabs on you.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, that's one thing, but did you use the phone and go over the minutes calling other people?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay, well, so who should pay for that?
I should.
Good. That's easy. Can I see the bill, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor?
Yeah.
I would have paid the cell phone. I would have paid the rent. But because of the fact that I went to jail for a domestic, I did.
This is your fault. Shh. Sorry.
I did 13 and a half months sentence in prison because...
You lost your temper.
I didn't strike her, Your Honor. I did not touch her. She got mad at me, she called the police, and I went to prison. Now, I got out...
Miss Spencer.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that true? Did he, in fact, put his hands on you?
Yes, ma'am.
How did he put his hands on you?
He was, yes, ma'am. He was attempting to come into the apartment. As you can see, he's slightly larger than me. He was trying to get in the apartment. I'm very stubborn. I'm not going to deny it. I was standing in the doorway trying to prevent him from coming in.
You weren't living together at the time?
Yes, we were, but we only been living together for a month. It was me, him, and his roommate.
So you'd been living together, and he was trying to get into the apartment?
To get a 12-pack of beer out of the refrigerator.
And you're blocking the door?
Yes, ma'am.
And then what happened?
I got elbowed in the eye, in which I sustained a black eye.
How did that happen?
As he's trying to push his way in.
Yeah.
His elbow got me in the eye.
So it was an accident?
I don't...
So it was an accident? Is what you're telling me, Miss Spencer, is that it was an accident?
No, ma'am.
He didn't hit you with his fist, did he?
No.
You were blocking the door in a place where he was a tenant. Is that right?
This is his second incident against a female for domestic violence. He's also got a charge against his wife.
Then I want to tell you something. You shouldn't have put yourself in that position.
I agree.
Right. However, what he's telling me has a ring of truth to it. You were blocking his entrance from getting into his home. He pushed you out of the way. He didn't hit you. But as he pushed you out of the way, his elbow hit you in the eye. His elbow. You know,
Well, that's
he didn't,
what he thinks.
he didn't
We're
go,
not sure
he didn't
exactly
go
how.
like this and hit you in
No,
the eye.
no, ma'am.
His elbow hit you as he was coming in, and he's saying for that he was incarcerated for 13 months.
No.
That's a long time.
Right. If you were to ask our son, who was present during this, what happened, he said he would tell people his daddy was in jail for punching mommy in the face.
But he didn't punch you in the face, Miss
Right.
Spencer.
I agree.
But he didn't punch you in the face.
Right. I also have a letter from Mr. Drever that I'd like to submit, if I may, please.
I'd like to see it.
He received this soon after being served for a previous.
Well, it's a nasty letter, but he spent 13 months in jail for something that really has some mitigating circumstance to it. Did you have a trial?
Well, ma'am, The way the situation worked, I had 3 days.
Did you have a trial?
No, ma'am. I had a plea bargaining hearing.
What was the plea bargain?
13.5 months, or I would
on the old case and this case.
In this case, to get it cleared out. If I would have taken it to trial, and even if I would have won the trial, they were going to send me away for 7 years.
On the parole violation.
On the probation violation, correct.
Your Honor, he also has a copy of his arrest history with him. If you could look at that, you would kind of get an
I
idea.
believe, listen to me, Miss Spencer.
Yes, ma'am.
My dear, I believe that Mr. Drever has a very bad temper. Whether he has resolved his very bad temper, I don't know. But you and I both know that you precipitated this altercation that happened in September of 2001 by blocking the door. First of all, by moving back in with him.
He moved in with me.
You permitted that.
Right.
You knew his history. You permitted that. And if he was going inside to get a six-pack of beer and you decided you didn't want him to do that and you stood in his way, he's allowed to go into his home.
Well, there's an incident that precipitated that I didn't get a chance to say. I had left. We got into an argument. I had left and gone to my friend's house. When I came back, my son was dressed, sitting on top of a suitcase, and said that him and Daddy were going back to Lenny. That's his ex-girlfriend. So I was trying to keep him out of the house because I didn't know that he wasn't going to take my son and leave.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He owes me over $7,000 in child support.
You mean for this past year as well?
Yeah, but the state of Ohio doesn't overlook it because he was in jail. They don't care.
I care. I care.
And later today.
She said, well, I need the money. She said, because I got to pay bills and feed my children. I said, well, I don't have it right now. She said, well, you better get it.
You're a hustler.
I'm a hustler.
You're a hustler.
I'm about as much hustler.
You're a hustler.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Candace Spencer says the father of her child, Keith Drever, owes for rent and a cell phone bill. Keith says Candace had him falsely arrested and thrown in jail for 13 months.
Just a second. You left and left your son with him.
And a roommate. I left to give him a cooling off period.
But you left your son with him, so clearly you were not concerned for your son's safety. You knew he was with his father and he was going to be okay. So you both cooled off for a while.
Right.
Why did you prevent him from going back into the house?
Because he had started yelling and screaming and threatening me in front of our roommate, and I was afraid that he was going to do something to me or my son, so I was trying to keep him out of the apartment. I was trying to close the door, and he was trying to get back in.
Do you see your son now, Mr. Drever?
Yes, ma'am.
How often?
As much as I can.
You have a court order of visitation?
No, ma'am.
He has a court-ordered child support that he hasn't paid. He owes me over $7,000 in child support.
Well, just a second. You mean for this past year as well?
Yeah, but the state of Ohio doesn't overlook it because he was in jail. They don't care. It's the state of Ohio child support. I agree.
I care.
Well, I understand.
Good. But you see your son?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Drever, I want you to understand this, sir. I think that what you have to do is you have to put a period with regard to this bad feeling. She lets you visit with your son, even without a court order. I think that you ought to pay her this money. Clearly you owe her the money, and the reason that you say you're not going to pay her the money is because you're angry that she had you incarcerated for 13 months.
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Right? Part of that responsibility is yours. You were in that position. Had you not been on parole for a very serious case, you wouldn't have been facing 7 years in jail. Is that right?
That's correct, ma'am.
So, and nobody put you in that position except you.
Yes, ma'am.
So, it's unfortunate. But I think that you got to pay her this money for the phone. I don't think, however, that you have to pay her the money for the rent, and I'm going to tell you why. She blocked your entrance to your home. She refused to give you entry into a premises that was your home. She not entitled to any rent for that month. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. Good. Judgment for the plaintiff, not in the amount requested, which is $880, but $678.20, which is the amount of the phone bill. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I can be thrown in jail for doing nothing, basically, and then lose a year income and then still have to pay her money.
I'm a bigger person, and I allow him to see our son without the fact that he hasn't paid me any child support, so I'm going to get along with him as best as I can for the sake of our son.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Moore versus Muhammad. Step forward, please.
Pharmacy technician Tracy Moore is suing her ex-boyfriend, private detective Busharat Muhammad, for an unpaid loan to get his car out of the shop. Boucherot is countersuing for medical bills as the result of Tracy's harassment.
Miss Moore, you claim a loan, a small one, of $200 to the defendant, who at some point was a boyfriend of yours.
Yes.
Mr. Mohammed says there was never a loan. You did, in fact, give him $200, which is the amount you're suing for, but that was for work that he was doing for you in his capacity as a private investigator. Mr. Mohammed has filed a counterclaim alleging that because you harassed him for this $200 over a long period of time, he developed an ulcer, and he would like you to pay some $2,000 for his medical bills. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
When did you meet him, and when did you give him the $200?
I met him at the end of July in 2002. I loaned him the $200 on September 2nd in the agreement that he was going to pay me back.
September 2nd?
Yes, ma'am.
So did you start to date him? Were you dating him in July and August?
You could say that, yes.
What do you mean? I don't want to say that. I want to know if you want to say that.
Sorry. It was more of he starting to take control of me and was making me call him all the time, and so I guess he was claiming me as his girlfriend, yes.
I don't know what that means.
Your Honor, she's lying. That's why she can't even tell the court straight what's going on.
I'm going to get to you in a second. Did you go out to dinner together?
No, ma'am.
Did you go to a movie together?
No, ma'am.
Did you go visit a park together?
No, he was always...
A zoo?
No.
Shh, I don't want to hear anything. Did he come to your house?
Yes.
For dinner?
No, ma'am.
Did you have an intimate relationship?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about this $200 in September.
He asked me to loan him $200 so he can get his car out of a shop.
Tell me where you were when you had this discussion.
In my apartment.
And exactly what did he say to you?
He asked me if he could borrow the $200 so he can get his car out of the shop, and that he would pay me back within 2 days when he got his money. And then he took me to the bank to cash my check, and that's when I gave him the $200.
And what happened on September 2nd? After that, you didn't see him anymore?
He didn't come over, and I would try and call him, and he told me to stop harassing him, and he would hang up on me.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Mohammed, let me hear you, sir.
Yes, ma'am. First of all, Your Honor, we never dated. We had a friendship, but we never dated. That's why she couldn't get it straight. I never told her my car was in the shop. She came to me. She said that her mother was trying to...
Just a second. She came to you where?
Well, we were at her house talking.
So you were at her house?
Exactly.
She didn't come to you?
No, we were at her house.
You went to her house?
I went to her house to visit her.
Go ahead.
And she said that her mother was her mother was really upset. And I said, about what? And she said, well, because she is trying to get money from her ex-husband, trying to garnish his wages. I said, well, I did investigation part-time before. If you want me to try to help you, I can save her a lot of money by taking her down to the court places where you could buy the paperwork, show her how to fill the paperwork out. She could do it herself.
You were going to take her to the courthouse?
No.
Where?
I have a client of mine that owns a store where he sells paper, you know, the packets to show you how to file on landlord disputes and certain things, small things, individual.
So you were going to take her to the store?
Yes, ma'am.
And get her the right set of forms?
Exactly.
Go ahead.
And she said, yes. She said, well, I told her, well, for a flat fee of $200, I would do that. Ms. Moore said, I'll give it to him when I get my check in the mail.
Okay, so that's what you say it was for. You took her to the bank, she gave you the $200.
Exactly.
And that was on what date, sir?
That was around September the 7th or 8th.
Okay. Now, when did you take her mother to the store?
I never did.
Stop! You never did?
No, ma'am.
Well, that's what you were supposed to do, according to your answer, Mr. Mohammed, for the
Exactly.
$200.
Exactly.
So you didn't do what you had said you were going to do?
No, ma'am. I didn't.
Why not?
Because I tried to contact her mother 3 days in a row. In fact, after I got the money the next day, I called her. I said, look, we need to try to get down there and take her to the stationery store.
Okay, so you didn't get together with her mother, so keep going.
So she called me about 2 days later and said, I want the money back.
Right.
I said, I don't have it right now. I said, my thing was to help your mother. She said, well, I need the money. She said, because I got to pay bills and feed my children. I said, well, I don't have it right now. She said, well, you better get it.
You're a hustler.
I'm a hustler.
You're a hustler.
I'm about as much hustler
You're a
as you
hustler.
are.
You're a hustler, Mr. Mohammed. Let me tell you why you're a hustler. Because I read your answer very carefully. Let's understand what you've just testified to before I get to it. You said to me that this was not a loan.
Right.
This had nothing to do with your car.
Exactly.
You said to... Don't agree with me, sir. You said to me that you were having a discussion with her. She said her mother needed to do some work to get some alimony or support from her ex-husband. You had a friend who had a stationery store. You were going to take her mother down there and make sure she got the right forms. That's not something that costs $200.
No,
let me finish. I'm finishing now, but that's what you were going to do. And then, for one reason or another, within a day or two, you realized that this wasn't going to come about. You weren't going to take her mother down to get the forms, and therefore you had done nothing so far. Nothing for that $200. Now, let me read from your answer, sir. In August, she hired me to do some investigating on her mother's ex-husband. I made them a deal that I would do the work for a flat fee of $200 up front. I got started on the case. What case? Going to your friend's store? In any case, I started the work, and the few days I put in on the case are worth more than $200. That's what you swore to. You did nothing. Nothing. So why didn't you give it back to her?
Because she had people coming over to where I live at, threatening me on the phone.
Why didn't you just give her back the $200 or say to her, I'm sorry, Miss Moore, I shouldn't have spent it before I did anything, but I spent it.
I told her that.
Did you tell her you would give it back to her?
I did tell her that.
Did you tell her when?
I told her to give me a couple of weeks.
So why, Mr. Mohammed, did you swear to, in your statement to me, that you had already done work on the case? Why didn't you just say, I told her that I would give her back her money, just give me 2 weeks, I didn't have it? Why didn't you write that in your answer?
Because I did tell her that. I did tell her I would give her the money back.
You didn't tell that to me.
Even though I initially had started, even though I contacted her 3 days in a row to contact her mother. I even met with her mother. Her mother came by and I talked to her mother.
You getting the whole thing?
I went to her house and talked to her mother.
You're getting the whole thing, right? All right, let's get to your counterclaim. So she bothered you. She called you 50 times a day.
No, she's sending people over to my house threatening me with terroristic threats, physical violence.
And that gave you an ulcer?
That's not how you go about getting your money.
That gave you an ulcer?
Well, what gave me ulcer was deciding, well, should I kill these people for threatening me over $200? Or should I try? Because people don't understand. Little small things start great wars. And these people were threatening me with physical violence about $200. I'm not no punk or pushover. So if they got to bring a life to take a life, my point is that they come to take my life, I'm going to take theirs, even if it's about $200.
Good. Okay. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $200. Your counterclaim's dismissed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
सर
हाँ जी
सर मुझसे अटेंडेंस कैलकुलेट नहीं हो रही बता दे इसके कोई ट्रिक
तो इधर आए 1 मिनट का काम है ये
जी सर बताइए
स्क्रीन पे लगाए मेरे पास यहाँ पे एक अटेंडेंस शीट है अब देखें इसमें मैं ये चाह रहा हूँ कि जो टोटल प्रेजेंट है वो इसमें उनकी स्ट्रेंथ काउंट हो जाए और जो टोटल एब्सेंट है वो इसमें उनकी स्ट्रेंथ आ जाए तो इसके लिए यहाँ पे हम काउंट इफ का फंक्शन लगाएंगे सिंपल इज इक्वल टू लिखेंगे और उसके बाद आप काउंट इफ लिखेंगे उसके बाद ब्रैकेट स्टार्ट कर देंगे यहाँ पे आप रेंज को सिलेक्ट करेंगे यानी ओवरऑल रेंज जिसमें से आप रिजल्ट शो करवाना चाह रहे हैं कोमा लगाएंगे इन्वर्टेड कॉमर्स में आप लिखेंगे आप क्या शो करवाना चाह रहे हैं पी से प्रेजेंट है तो पी लिख लें इन्वर्टेड कॉमर्स में एंटर कर दें तो यहाँ पे चेक करें आपके पास 4 प्रेजेंट है और उसके बाद एब्सेंट निकालने इज इक्वल टू लिखेंगे और उसके बाद सेम आपने फंक्शन लगाना है ठीक है काउंट इफ का फंक्शन लगाएंगे ब्रैकेट स्टार्ट कर देंगे रेंज को सिलेक्ट कर लें मीन सारे सेल को सिलेक्ट कर लें कोमा लगा दें इन्वर्टेड कॉमर्स में आप ए लिखेंगे क्योंकि अभी हमने एब्सेंट को निकालना है और ब्रैकेट क्लोज करके एंटर कर दें तो यहाँ पे आप चेक कर सकते हैं आपके पास जो एब्सेंट है वो यहाँ पे आ रहे हैं तो मजीद ऐसी शॉर्टकट ट्रिक्स के लिए इस अकाउंट को लाजमी फॉलो कीजिएगा थैंक यू सो मच फॉर वाचिंग दिस वीडियो
थैंक यू सर
मिट्टी रोवे से जब तू याद आवे से मिट्टी रोवे से जब तू याद आवे से मिट्टी रोवे से जब तू याद आवे से भीगी रात में तेरा नाम धीरे धीरे गावे से मुंह मिट्टी रोवे से जब तू याद आवे से दिल का कोना गाम बन जावे से तू दूर सही पर बात तेरी सांस के साथ निभावे से शहर की रोशनी तेज बहुत पर मन में अंधेरा सांस है गान की गली मिट्टी की खुशबू सब कुछ तेरा चेहरा सांस है मिट्टी रोवे से जब तू याद आवे से दिल का कोना गाम बन जावे से तू दूर सही पर बात तेरी सांस के साथ निभावे से। छत पे चांद भी चुप बैठा, हवा भी धीमी चलती से, तेरी हंसी की एक झलक में मेरी दुनिया पलती से। ना शोर चाहिए ना नाम बड़ा, बस सच्चा सा एक गहरा प्यार, गाम की मिट्टी दोनों मेरे सबसे खास। मिट्टी रोवे से जब तू याद आवे से, दिल का कोना के दिल फिर चल जा से।